Talk about how you feel.
Feelings.
Well, I feel...
Talk about ice cream. Maybe do her nails and talk about her feelings.
I actually haven't had ice cream in a minute.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind actually getting a mani-pedi. That's what it's
manicure.
Is that what it's called? A mani-pedi?
Yeah. When you get your nails and feet done.
So would a Medicure be like the next level of Metagel? That's gonna be like Andromeda 2?
Maybe.
It's just never really been pampered before, and I guess that's like the ultimate pampering. I guess.
No, the ultimate pampering is when you get all that stuff done in the spa. Because when you get a spa package, they do the massage, they do the mani-pedi, and they do a bunch of other stuff too.
See, the issue is the fact that I don't trust any spa that's out here. I would rather go out to like New York City, Canada, or back out to California for some spot like that.
See, there has to be a couple good places there, because there's usually a good place for in terms of like massages and stuff like that in spas.
Yeah, there's usually a good place in
one good place in each place.
Yeah, like within like every 80 miles there's like a good spot every 80 miles.
Because there's rich people here, and where do they go when they can't go other places?
They get airlifted.
I say we need to fly in Ming Bay.
We saw what happened to that one lady who got airlifted. I don't think anybody's trying to do that.
Well, now that the fact that there was a car that apparently flipped over up the street from us, and then all the crap happening downtown.
Bro, that shit was crazy.
I was wondering why that.
I was gonna text you.
It was taking so long for me to get from like point A to point B once we got downtown. It was like.
So basically, there was a crazy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a car that was parked in front of the federal building. It was parked in front of the federal building for a really long time, and he was acting erratically. They searched the car and found a box, or they saw a box or something like that, so they called in the bomb squad. So they shut down State Street.
I think they said it was like a white van.
And then there was a car accident. There's a Joe. Yeah, you hear that? You hear that, Joseph? White vans are suspect. Anyway, there was also a car accident on Goodman. So, like, right there at the mouth of, like, Goodman and Monroe. So, I'm coming home trying to avoid all that crap. I'm like, okay, let me go the other way. Let me go down Goodman and just cut across. All of a sudden, there's, like, this accident. So, I'm sitting there like, they really don't want me to go home.
This is your home now.
Right? So, I was stuck around the corner from where I used to live.
I mean, that's how it was when I was in Maryland once, and all their streets downtown are one-ways.
I fucking hate that.
That would get so irritating.
And it gets worse because not only that, but they were doing like work on like the water main or something like that. So it was like, hey, this street that I need to take to get out of here, can't go that way.
Any city that's been around for like a couple hundred years has one-way streets in downtowns. It's so fucking stupid.
Yep.
I don't know why they did that.
So we went in a circle like 4 times.
Then, so.
It was rough.
Yeah, because mostly downtown was dealing with the fact that the streets, people were walking in the streets, and it's not really cars were being down there. And that's what most people don't realize, the fact that, yeah, the sidewalks were really just meant for people with children and strollers. That way they don't have to deal with people rushing past them. Basically, New York City sidewalks. But that was all in the streets. And then cars started getting more popular. And then I was like, yeah, you guys now...
Or even horses and carriages and stuff, too. Because
I think the horses were still supposed to stay where the street was.
I feel like a rich person stepping on people would like... like, nah, these horses need their own lane. It's like the 5th person that got their foot stepped on, or just the whole body stepped on today.
So is that why we have bike lanes now? Is that what it was?
See, as you were saying that,
disgusting.
As you were saying that, it made me think of One Piece with the Celestial Dragons. Like, oh look, my horse stepped on someone.
Right. 2 points. Every time I see a design that has a fucking bike lane in it, I just throw up in my mouth a little bit. Make sure you make enough room for the bike lane. I'm like,
for like the ones that are around here, or like the one that's on South Union?
I mean, I'm talking like if I see someone designing a street, like, because designing a street and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna make a little bike lane here. I'm like, burn it, burn this plan, burn the desk you made it on, burn that fucking pencil so it doesn't make anything stupid like that again.
Dishonor on you.
Your family? I want that cup. Your cow? Fucking Mushu's the best.
But what about the one that's downtown near where I work? Because you have the street.
I like
street
how
parking,
it's the fucking
then it's the bike lane, then the sidewalk. Where the bike lane inside, well, you have like the patch of grass.
There's the part where the bike lane is on the sidewalk. I do like that. Like, make bigger sidewalks. Don't put bikers in the fucking road because that shit is stupid.
But honest, it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle.
It's not though.
I hate when they say that shit too.
Like, okay, if you want to be like the most bare bones, like annoying type of technical, like nerd pushing up glasses, technically, fucking
like
it's
a vehicle.
Anything's a vehicle as long as it gives you from point A to point B. But it's like, yeah, my fist is a vehicle too. Fucking.
See, I always say a vehicle if it has a motor on it, then a motor and you can go above 30 miles an hour.
Modern day vehicle.
Yeah.
Because if you had like Lance Armstrong in here, he's sitting there like, well, I could go 45. I was like, well, fuck you then.
But that's why I say motor plus capability of going over 30 miles an hour. That to me is a vehicle.
That shit's crazy. I can't fuck.
Which means most of you moped drivers, shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Even though they can park those things wherever they want.
They really can. Vespa's weird.
Which is, it is the fact that,
Italy.
So I gotta...
They parked it right on the sidewalk and they can't do anything.
You parked on my dog.
So I got a question for you.
Or right next to it. They could actually put it right next to a damn
fire hydrant if they wanted to, yeah. Because technically a Vespa wouldn't get in the way of the functionality of it. Whereas if you park a car in front of it, they can't turn the hose.
So I got a question for you. If you had a job to design a street, but they said that the street had to have a Segway lane, would you just be like, nah, I'm not doing that?
You said a Segway lane? Like some places when you design like the like complexes and stuff or like tech parks and stuff nowadays, because of like if you're making like a campus for Apple or some shit like that, they'll ask for stuff like that. And usually, I mean, I'm okay with putting that there because that's their own private property. That's not like, hey,
what if someone was like building a town?
City.
What if someone's building a town?
I mean, honestly, if someone was building a city, I wouldn't really care what they put into it, because the idea of building, I've been saying for fucking years that like we need to make like a modern city work. America needs to come together to find a place and just build a modern city. Put all of your like modern, new age shit into it, like planning, ingenuity, technology, and make it like just a really dope place to live. Because all the different things that we don't have because it's too hard to implement, or the cities are too old and they've been around for 200 years, it's hard to just implement shit when people are living on top of everything. Fucking make a new city. You make a new city, you get more people to move out there, then you have less people in these cities, and you can update the shit more often. So basically, America would become like, I guess, nomadic somewhat. And that,
I was gonna say,
be every 10 years moving to
Mortal Engines. Put everything on wheels until they finish the city. Or it could be Astro Boy, and they can just be like, hey, we're just gonna like, put like tech into the city and just float everything.
Just learn how to make these
taxis.
Learn how to make these gigantic ass floating platforms and just put buildings on.
That's basically what the Astro Boy movie was. It was like, hey, we're just gonna like raise everything up, and then you guys can stay on the ground.
Okay. So then we get closer and closer to G Gundam future, which I'm not entirely against. G Gundam was alright.
I mean, Pacific Rim was our like step into G Gundam,
pretty much.
Except Jaegers are really big, though. Like with respect to Gundam,
really unnecessarily stupid the way you control them. But okay, it's called mo-capture, people. Like, come on.
The mental strain.
Fucking, why does it have to link with your brain at all? Mo-capture, motion capture. Yeah, you got to wear the stupid balls and whatever, but like, who cares? Fucking, I don't get it. Anyway,
freaking, you know what I just thought about? Domon was a freaking from Metabots. What do you call them? The bad guys from Metabots, the Team Rocket of Metabots.
Oh, the rubber robot.
Yeah, that's basically what they were in G Gundam.
Fucking kind of. Kinda.
Rubber Robo
Especially
gang.
him, because his was the only one that was like black. I
Yeah.
think like everybody else's had like different colors and shit.
So was
It was
Domo
dope because they had like a piece of their flag or whatever on it.
Yeah. So does that make Domo like the final boss for the Rubber Robo gang? You got Metabee had to fight him at the end and just didn't make it.
Leader?
They did, but it wasn't as cool as Domo though.
Wasn't he like an alien or some bullshit?
Well, I mean, and Metabots as a whole are aliens. Like when you go deep into the story, it's like, oh yeah, so there was a sentient race of Cybertronians, and then something happened, and all their like consciousness went into the metals. Metals, landed on Earth for reasons. Asteroids, I don't know. And then they collected the metal. That's why some of them are all busted up and stuff. Is because it's basically Transformers in Metabot form. Archbeetle was my favorite though. Archbeetle was the man. Just because Space Metafight X would be like, are you prepared? The power of the sun, the pillar of light. Word! It's like his whole body was like a doom blast. Like, the only other character I can think of on top of my head that had that was a dude from Negima. Because he literally...
Negative.
Yeah.
That
he like
shit
named the
was
move
fucking
after
crazy.
him and then just doom blasted him with the move he made for him in a tournament.
How you just gonna... Like, nobody but you can do that attack. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna keep the name in. Like, fucking...
I gotta finish reading that story. It's just there's so many iterations of it now that I don't even know which one I was reading when I was reading it. Yeah.
They keep remaking that, kind of.
I think the most recent one is like his great grandson or something, UQ holder or something like that.
Fucking what?
I don't know.
Negima has... So wait, so Negima is a harem anime, so who the fuck is that guy?
See, I'm not sure because in the original series they pulled that too. In the original series there was this whole thing going on, and the way that they were trying to get all of the girls to like fight each other and not fight a bad guy was one of the characters like, yeah, I'm from the future, I'm his granddaughter. So everyone was like, who is it? Who's her mother? Oh. And then the most recent one is actually his like great grandson or something like
that. It's not that hard. Just look at her fucking hair.
She had real like Chinese motifs, like Chun-Li-esque.
That's racist. Anyway, fucking all right. So
is it though?
Who's here? I'm here. My name is Ungrateful Ninja.
Here.
Who that? What?
Sonny's here.
Sonny's here? Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, fuck him. He doesn't get to talk.
You know you're gonna come back around looking like Panther Lily. What you say, boy?
He's black and white. Can't talk. Fuck him up. I'm trying to come back looking like a buff Michael Clark Duncan or some shit. Fuck his ass up.
He would have been great in the live action
live action fairy tale.
Where
be like, we can only get you. But we have our copy of my Clark Duncan sitting right here.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you admitting to the fact that I am not the Joe Kage and that
you're all those things.
And wow. I can't.
That's what happens when you multi-class.
That's the thing. That's the word. That's the thing about all of Joe's legends. But they're all true.
Multi-class.
None of them make sense, yet they're all true.
It's like freaking
multi-class, and I'm failing at all those classes.
Lando Calrissian. Right, everything you've heard is true.
Even the conflicting stuff. Doesn't have to make sense. It's beautiful.
The cosmos. Untimely Death is here.
Obscura.
Yeah. We're down one member. But like a Krogan with only 3 balls, we will survive. I think. I don't know if they need all 4 of them. I don't know. Anyway.
Think it throws off his balance? Probably.
And they charge too, so they'll probably be like pulling to the left every time. That would suck. I was actually just fighting. I wasn't prepared because in that game they usually only in Andromeda they only usually have you fighting like either humans or Angaran, and then sometimes they'll throw in some of the other races like from the old game. Fucking randomly threw a Krogan at me. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't ready. Those are the big motherfuckers too. They charge people. They go into like blood raids or blood rages and shit. They're fucking crazy.
So if you combined a Kleong and a Charmander, you get a Krogan.
He was just standing there, the Superman pose. Would his balls be doing the Newton thing?
Maybe. I don't know. There's 4, and I don't really know how
the
they're
orientation.
Like, I don't know the orientation. I don't know if they're like 4 in a row or if it's like If it's like, you know, like 2 and 2, or if it's like one on top of the other, just got like cylindrical ball. It's like, is that the dick? No, that's the ball sack. It's like a sleeve of tennis balls.
I mean,
I found this nut cozy. It's like, that's a sleeve of tennis balls.
Now, did they actually say that the balls are down there? Because it could be like a Barchini and they could be somewhere else. But like those things on his shoulders are.
It's too funny to watch Men in Black 2 on television because they blur that out to where it's just saggy, like a bunch of double chins. I was like, that's fucking hilarious to me.
The funny thing though is they made it weird because it looks the way his like old neck chin kind of looks, and they made it look too much like a vagina.
Very, very gobble down there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what. Never mind. It's like, hey, maybe Mineta. That's.
We're not gonna talk about him. I was watching this motherfucker in the most recent episode. This motherfucker's like, my character design doesn't let me play guitar. I was like, he got tiny arms. He was trying to go over the guitar. He's like, he's like running away from it all. I was like, fucking, oh my god.
Mineta's great.
I tell you right now, he is stealing from One Piece. So for like so many things, it's ridiculous.
Ooh, Horikoshi?
Yeah.
He's a fan of all this shit. Bruh, he's literally, if we were making like a fucking story, he grew up on this shit the same as we did.
It's so fun. I shouldn't say stealing. It's more so like he's
fangirl. He's sitting in his fucking office going, I wonder if Eiichiro Oda will notice me.
Because he has to notice that the fact that the number 5 hero now, Miracle, is like she's Carrot.
Miracle.
She's a rabbit hero.
So she Carrot, or is she like Sulong Carrot?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. We just stealing people? How can you do that?
Don't get me wrong, her character is amazing, but it's outside of
she
her like biting people.
She like happy and cheery.
Okay. She's an awesome character. I love her so much. And I've posted like 2 things on my Facebook, but I was like, I can't say this because I know it would ruin something for Shadow, and I wasn't sure because I know you don't like spoilers for certain things. I was like, all right, I have to take these down because I was going off.
Sometimes don't care. I still try to look at stuff though. I don't know. I'm weird.
No, I don't like to be the one that spoils things, and I know there are a few people, I mean, other than you two that
if
are
someone
reading
told
it.
me what One Piece was, I would punch them in the face. Even if Eiichiro Oda's
It's friendship.
I was reading that dumb. There's a whole thread of fan theories last night, and one of them was like, One Piece is friendship. I'm like, even the person knew it was stupid because they put like a bunch of fucking laughing emojis afterwards. That would be so terrible. I'd be so upset.
Oda's too much of a good storyteller to have it be something that's fucking stupid.
People don't, and it frustrates me when people don't realize how good of a storyteller he is, because like they're complaining about early stuff and comparing early arcs, and I saw somebody rank like all the arcs and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, fucking such and such was trash. I'm like, fucking Skypiea was trash. The first thing you get into where it's like.
That like sets up
past.
Yeah,
that's the foundation for a lot of
he
other
is dumb
stuff.
because you're dumb and don't understand what the fucking story.
I was gonna say that's really the fact that people are kind of trying to speed through things, and they're thinking that Skypiea is just like a filler arc, and it's really not.
Skypiea brings a precedence of hockey and like how important it is, like super early on.
Was that like the first? Was that the first showing of hockey?
In like the current timeline,
for
or
a character
like
that's like directly in front of us? Yeah.
It might have been. No, well, because technically, Shanks.
I was gonna say Shanks with the very first.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically
right.
Shanks. But if you don't count that, then Skypiea.
Was that first episode when he passing in the hat episode?
I believe that was either the first or the second.
I thought that was when. I thought he didn't tell Zoro about the.
It was in the first 5. Yeah. Because remember he met Cody first.
Because the first one was Kobe. The second and third one was when they met Zoro.
Yeah.
And then
they were on the raft, I think.
Yes. Or no, small boat. Because after they left the Marines actually gave them like a tiny boat.
Zolo's the one who used to
kicking
be on the
Captain
raft.
Morgan's ass.
Gave.
They can't. Yeah, they're right. Because I was like,
they can't officially.
For a second, I was like, wait, Luffy didn't steal that. I was like, oh no, you're right. Yeah, because they can't say that they.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking.
Yeah, so it's definitely in the first 5 episodes.
Which I have to say that's another thing. Starting off where with Luffy dealing with the Marines and how this whole story is going to go for certain stuff like that. Because yes, the Marines are seen as the bad guys.
Fujitora even
likes
him. It's like,
but it goes to show like there are actually good Marines in this, and you do have your shitheads like with Morgan, and later on they start to show okay, there are bad pirates, so don't think all these pirates are the good guys.
They show you both sides.
The vast majority of them are actually really,
then you
really
have
bad.
The weird ones that like even in the beginning, kind of Blackbeard was like a weirdly. He was bad, but you could tell he was still like a dreamer because he was one of those people who was like, no, you're fucking right about One Piece, you're right about the Sky Islands or all that other shit. Like he still has a level of like I don't want to. It's not. I don't know. It's not naivety. It's almost like imagination or hope or something like that.
But he was supposed to be like the red herring, basically, where
you didn't know who the fuck he was when he was introduced.
But you're supposed to know. They realized the fact that he had a little bit too much of an impact on Luffy, and then when he comes back into play, you're like, oh, he's actually kind of bad. We shouldn't actually like him. But then you're like, and then you get the full story for it, and you're like, kind of like, I don't like him. It's like I really don't like him.
Fuck that guy.
And then Marineford, and now everyone just hates him.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that there is one character that everyone just hates or dislikes universally. Where even with the Yonkos.
Foxy.
Now, if Foxy was an important character, he'd be busted. If he was an important character, he'd be busted.
Yeah, he kind of has a broken move.
How was his laugh again? That's fucking right. I can't remember who. I keep doing that laugh, and I can't remember who the fuck does it.
Yeah, can you imagine if like Foxy was an admiral? He'd like.
His Devil Fruit Awakening type shit would be so broken.
Especially because if he was an admiral, he'd have all that training and stuff. He'd be stupid. Like imagine if he was part of CP0.
If you put hockey on top of his bullshit ability, he'd be unstoppable.
Yeah. Like that's like he's one of those characters. He's one of those characters they had to they had to make him a trash throwaway character because of how busted his power is. Because there's a couple characters in the movies that they have to do that with and be like, hey, this character just kind of pops up and leaves because they would be busted. Because there was literally a water Logia in one of the movies and they basically they had to dumb her down hard.
I always thought that was dumb though, because a water Logia would be so fucking useless because you still can't go in the ocean. You still can't merge with the ocean. So you're pretty beastly on land.
The reason she was potent is because of where they were. There was a lot of irrigation type stuff, and she would fly through the irrigation, and she would put in work like that.
I guess she could turn herself into a cloud or some shit.
But what's weird is the fact that it's not just salt water that mess with them. It's also water that's above their knees, which is why when he said that, and then because that's one of the few I haven't watched.
Yeah, I don't remember which movie
but
it
is.
But also shenanigans because it's a movie,
right? Well, true. But if she's in the water itself, then shouldn't she?
Yeah, she was going through pipes and everything. It was crazy.
Well, pipes aren't that big.
But it's still her body.
Yeah, her body.
In there. Completely at this point is completely.
Now, mind you, I watched this movie a while back, so I could be misremembering some stuff. But I know she was a problem for a little while, and then they basically was like, "I'm gonna put you in this jar," and that's literally how they stopped her.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was literally she was flying through the pipes, and they was like, "You know what? They got a mad big jar. Put it right here." Okay, she's gone. Let's fight the final boss now.
Solving your problems the JoJo way.
Word. I don't remember which movie it was though. It was one of the earlier ones. I remember there was a movie based around Chopper. 2 movies actually based around Chopper. There was a whole Beast King one, and then there was one. It was a what if movie. I think it was number 9, where it was what if they got Frankie and then went to get Chopper or something like that, or if they got Robin then went to get Chopper, and what's the name had a brother, Wapple. He had a brother who was what was his power?
I was gonna have another character that's universal.
I'm trying to remember.
But yeah, who was the one you were talking about originally before I diverted us?
Teach.
Yeah, with
Like
he's Blackbeard.
Yeah, he's a universally hated character within One Piece.
Yeah,
but it just kind of goes well with Oda's writing for things like that. It's just he probably has one of the best world builds in most of the mangas. I would say that they're still
on it for goddamn ever. Better have
a
but there are a lot of look at with Blood Plus and Minus C and how you get the broad scale of the world with that. This is a really good one.
I didn't watch Minus C. I did watch Blood Plus.
Mine is if you don't mind mass amounts of gore. It's actually pretty good.
I watched Elfen Lied, man. Like,
there's more. It's weird. It's weird to say. Like, if you're gonna compare any anime dealing with gore, C is like
okay. So I mean, I've watched Elfen Lied. I've watched freaking Hellsing. I watched
Hellsing doesn't even compare to it.
I watched
and that's saying something right there. In my honest opinion, I love Hellsing.
I watched Gantz.
It's a lot of blood though.
Yeah.
How is Gantz? I don't even know.
It gets weird.
Oh, okay.
Especially because like the manga or the anime doesn't end. Like it has a ending, but it's open ended, and you have to go into the manga. And the manga gets really, really weird.
Oh god, it's gonna be mad for like the next few days now.
Oh, I texted my sister that, and she was just like, "I can't believe you would do that shit to me." Yeah, 20 years later.
Because I know when I first got introduced to blood, it was the original animated movie. Because Lewis,
yeah.
Because he gave me blood and he gave me Spriggan. I watched the live action Blood too. It wasn't terrible.
Oh, that's one I was a little worried about watching, to be honest, and I kind of stayed away from it.
Like, I didn't understand the whole story, but I think it's because the movie pulls from other stuff, the live action one. Because, like I said, I watched the original movie, and the original movie had stuff. It didn't have as much in it that the live action one had, so I think the live action one might have pulled from other material than the actual movie that it was based on.
Right.
But live action wasn't terrible. Spriggan was great. I don't know if you've ever watched Spriggan, but I think you might have watched Spriggan before.
I saw a couple of episodes. I can't really tell you how much of it I watched. It wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, I watched it. I can recall things.
Yeah, I just like the idea.
I just know this is something that I've seen.
Yeah, I just like the idea of basically it was like Jason Bourne level super soldiers, and they were like 15. And people were trying to flex on them, and they were like, nah, you're not about that life. And then there was this one telekinetic kid who was the bad guy, and he was just going around squashing people. And he tried to squash the two Spriggans, and both Spriggans survived it. And he was like, that's kind of impressive. But you're crippled, so I'm just going to walk away now.
Oh, damn.
Because like he squashed the one Spriggan, and he survived. Then he squashed the other Spriggan, and he was like, wow, you're the second person to survive that. Huh, you Spriggans are pretty tough. Like, I'm like, ugh.
You know, that it kind of reminded me of something we were talking about the other day with Bleach and the Kenpachis that I wanted to bring up with you.
Oh, God.
No, it's not anything bad.
So this is what we're going to do right now? We're going to fight?
All right, let's
take off my shirt.
It's pretty cool.
Boom, cross your mother. No.
But, from what I heard, I think Yance, if I remember correctly, had a good world building in that one, too. And for because I'm not that big when it comes like to mech animes. I know you two are better with that one. Which anime do you think has probably the best world building of it all? Outside of Gurren Lagann.
Okay, I was about to say that's an easy one, but see,
because even I watched that one, and I would say that's like
it's one thing to craft worlds, another thing to craft universes. Nigga, get on my level.
You know what's great?
Outside of the great show of Gurren Lagann.
Joe, it's actually great you mentioned Gurren Lagann. There's a guy at work who he wasn't really that big into anime, and I was like, hey, you should watch anime. And he started watching anime, and every time he watches a series, he was like, I'm retired now. And then the next day, he'd dive into something else. And he just started Gurren Lagann.
That's
like, oh.
The best thing is always when people just write
13
episode like 13, you're just gonna be like, "What did you tell me?" No, but that's always the best thing though is when you find people like that who are like The greatest thing about anime, and I was trying to explain this to my cousin because she's only ever seen Death Note. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get her to watch.
That's one of the ones he liked. He watched. I'll let you finish it now.
I was trying to get her to watch Psycho-Pass because her and my mom are both. They're both social workers and they deal with psychological type shit all the time.
Oh, that's right up there.
So Psycho-Pass, I was like, if you can get past like the little bit of gore that happens whenever they shoot somebody, like Psycho-Pass is fucking great. It's a good introspective look at a fucking dystopian future where they basically treat you. It's like a classist system where they treat you based on how your mindset is almost, and your mindset can be fucked up even without having like a mental illness or being so like psychopathic or sociopathic or anything like that. You could literally just be a person like me. I would be. I have a fucking problem because it's one of those things where you're like you get that score that like ranks you based on how mentally stable you are, but sometimes it's also based on how dangerous you are with respect to like spreading. Like there's one of the characters.
Isn't there like the teacher or something?
There's the teacher who literally his only reason for being having a high number is because his viewpoint on the world is stable enough that his number isn't going to go any higher into like the red or whatever, but the way he teaches his classes and breaks people's minds open and makes them really think about
the world
and deconstruct shit on that level and like really breaks them down like that makes people fucking kind of a little bit crazy. And so he's been like exiled from the fucking rest of the people because it's like, no, you can't, we'll let you live by yourself and we won't bring you in as long as your number doesn't go any higher, but like you can no longer be a teacher once they implemented that system.
And the crazy part about Psycho-Pass when I was watching through it is like, if your hue is good and something bad happens to you, and it's like your hue goes to crap, it's like, well, too bad for you.
Word, they just kill you. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like first episode,
because then somebody get like attacked or something.
First episode, the girl got attacked by a mugger, and the mugger tried to. I think he either tried to rape her or tried to kill her or tried to do something. And just being in that situation and being like unconsolable and like, oh my god, I can't believe I just happened. Oh my god, fucking her number went into the red, and they were like, oh well.
Collateral
damage. Guns go straight to lethal eliminator mode, and it's like, that's not great.
If they really like dive into mindset stuff, there's one called Angels of Death that I watched. It was interesting. I know it was a game first.
Joe, is that the one with the girl who was trying to die or something or get killed?
Yeah,
and the dude with the raps.
Yeah, okay. there was a dude who had like a scythe, and they're all of them are on their own level, and they're twisted up in a certain way, and each of them are in this prison, if you want to call it that or whatever, for like whatever reason, and each time she goes through one of the floors, you're getting like why they're there. The first guy that she's with was the guy with the scythe. Mm-hmm. Hers and his are progressively getting unraveled as they go along, with the fact that one is dealing with, well, both of them deal with massive abuse while they were kids. Mm-hmm. Of course, one's a teen, and that's the dude with the scythe, and she's younger, and what she wound up doing that landed her in there is very much like, wow, for someone to dive into the mindset of her to go through that and then to erase it in her own mind because she can't even remember it. She's just putting on mental blockers. It's really interesting to watch it kind of unfold with all of them. It's a great one, but granted, you got to get through the gore part of that. And
like, hey, Mom, look what Joe said you should watch.
I've gotten her to watch some interesting things, despite the fact she didn't know what she was watching. Mm. I got her to watch a little bit of Rurouni Kenshin. I got my cousin Puncho to watch some of Yu Yu Hakusho. So I remember him making fun of Toguro. He saw Toguro's final form. He's like, "Damn, his head is big for no reason."
Did she like the movie Gothica?
I think so. Yeah,
she would like that then. All right. That's like the best thing I can kind of put that with.
Just
Sorry to
reminded
cut
me
you off though.
of something, Broseph. There's this manhwa, I believe, or was it Chinese? I think it was a manhwa.
What is it Chinese called?
I think it's just called manga still.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I think there's like a word for it, but it's like dumb long, so I never remember it.
Because every time,
just call you right now.
but there's this series I used to read called Tower of God.
She's busy putting Jake in his cage.
You know he never gets out of his cage. But
get some calls about that.
There's a series Tower of God I used to read, and apparently Crunchyroll is getting animated. It's supposed to be a Crunchyroll original.
Oh yeah,
they're also
I heard about that.
They're animating
Nick
that one,
about that.
and they're animating God of High School, I think it's called.
That's the Chinese one, right?
I believe yeah.
God of High School? What's that one?
It's just
martial arts with shenanigans.
So Tenjo Tenge basically then.
Kind of
It's up there, yeah. The reason I like Tower of God is because it's basically like a dark Don Machi in the sense of like, hey, we're going to go through this tower and explore it kind of thing, except everything happens within the tower. And it's like this kid who, the MC, he's like abandoned kind of, and he lives outside the tower. And there's this girl who always comes to talk to him, and she's like his light in his darkness. And then she goes into the tower, and he's all alone, so he tries to go in and find her. And then everything revolves around him trying to find her. And there's shenanigans, betrayal, and he gets really busted, and it's great.
There's a couple shows that they've been making that are like that, because I know Blam is like that. The thing I told you about where the guy's like in the tower, and he's basically they made like some kind of weird technology that can like make environments or whatever, like, and like it just keeps building technological shit. And
Did they say Blame when they're finished with it?
No, it's called Blam because of his gun. He's got this fucking gun. Yeah, it would be stupid. He's got this gun. Pretty much. Nah, but like he's got the gun and it has different settings on it, and it's like basically how much of a problem are you dealing with? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is like, I think the 5 is the highest person I was listening to ever saw, and 5 was like skyscraper buster, and it goes up to 10. So it's like.
So would 10 be Mountain Buster then?
10 would probably be.
10 is Blam, 9 is dubstep.
Auto destruction of the entire world or some shit. I don't fucking like. Nobody knows yet. But it's basically like the construction robots are. The expansion of this like constructed universe is like continuing at a rate that they can't stop. So now they're trying to get like it's weird because they're all inside of it and there's people inside of it and they're trying to like get admin privileges to do different things, trying to find food, all this other different shit. They made like a it was like a CG almost kind of thing that they put on I think they put it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it was just
I didn't watch it, but I saw it up there cuz what's the name was up there too. What is it called? Aijin.
Yeah.
Yep, those went up around like within like a month or two of each other.
And it's really interesting because they're just running through the structure, trying to stop it from like expanding. So,
is it Aijin or Ajin?
I'm not 100% sure.
That's one because like really bad 3D animation, right?
Yeah, because it's one of those things. Like I seen the sub, I seen the sub and the dub, and I don't remember how they pronounced it. That's why I don't remember.
Which reminds me, I need to see the rest of those Godzilla CG movies that they did for Netflix. I watched the first one. It was really stupid.
I finished. I think there's 3 of them total.
I think there were supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, I watched through all of them.
Because they leave Earth and then come back or whatever. And
yeah. So. It was funny because it was one of those like, oh, we have hope now. No, you don't. Oh, we have hope now. No, you don't.
But there's a little bit of hope because there's people, but they're monkey people. They're like dumb.
Could Godzilla survive in the Zoids universe?
It depends on which Godzilla.
How does Godzilla do with how strong are Godzilla's molecular bonds? Because a proton cannon I'm pretty sure it just disassembles shit.
That's why I said it depends on which version of Godzilla. Because some versions of Godzilla get ran over, and some versions of Godzilla are kind of cheating. So it depends.
He also deals with a lot of energy attacks, whereas a lot of the Zoids don't.
Yeah.
Only really ones that do are like specific ones that, like I said, fucking particle cannons and all that other shit.
Because I was actually going to say, like, specifically the Godzilla from What's the Name has like an EMP field. from the Netflix stuff. He has like a freaking EMP field. So it's like EMP field that like stops attacks and stuff.
There's an atomic thing that
yeah. So like that's what I said. It depends on the Godzilla because some Godzillas are busted and some Godzillas are
kind of cheating.
Are like
Well, that's why I was wondering, like, could Godzilla I'm gonna run through.
Also,
all these.
Godzilla's like really big too. Like he's bigger than base Zoids. Like there are Zoids that are as big as him. There's literally
Elevander.
There's a Zoid. There's a Gojulus called King Gojulus, and Gojulus is supposed to be Godzilla. That's why it's King Gojulus. Oh, and it has like a big horn. It's stupid big. Like a regular Gojulus is T-Rex size. King Gojulus will step on a regular Gojulus. So there are like some like Death Swords, stupid big. There's what is it called? There's this. It's basically like the.
What was the one they were trying to kill in fucking what's his name in Chaotic Century?
Chaotic Century.
The last thing they were trying to kill.
Death Stinger.
Is that thing was big as fuck, wasn't
it? It was big, but it wasn't like huge big. It was just like bigger than other stuff. Like a Death Stinger is probably like 2 or 3 Liger Zeros, which is still big. But it's not like huge.
Considering a Liger Zero is like bigger than this fucking house.
Yeah. So like with respect to stuff,
but with Godzilla and how he's scaled again, dealing with certain ones.
Yeah, I think Godzilla, like
so you take like the whole fucking universe to like jump Godzilla at the same time, but all the robot animals just fucking turn on him.
Because I'm trying to think. Because it's tricky to scale Death Stinger too, because a lot of the bigger stuff was already gone when Death Stinger showed up.
Yeah.
That's why they had to get the Titanosaurus or whatever that thing was, and they had the gravity cannons. And Death Stinger actually took a shot from the gravity cannon. I think they had to hit it twice. And I think it survived, and then like cocooned and got more powerful or something like that. It's been a minute since I watched that series.
Yeah, it's been a while. That's like college.
Oh, speaking of Zoids, remember how I was saying how Zoids Wild was weird because they're outside the Zoid, like they're exposed? Apparently later on, they get like, they're more normal looking and they're actually inside the cockpit and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll watch it now. Because that was my biggest thing is like, okay, you're
so fucking weird.
That's my thing is like, okay, Zoids have guns. You are highly exposed. Someone could literally just snipe you. Like literally, Rubber Robo Gang, snipe that man when he's not paying attention.
Fucking anti-Zoid rifle, those things are fucking crazy.
So later on they actually get like more armor and stuff and they're inside, so I'm like, maybe I'll watch it.
Maybe that's why they weren't inside, because it's like there's not enough armor for like.
They also seem smaller too. They also seemed smaller. The Zoids Wild Zoids. But I'm gonna check it out because I've always been a Zoids fan. I've always enjoyed Zoids. I just haven't gotten around to watching it because there's a lot of anime coming out.
So, to answer your previous question about the mecha worlds, there's a lot of mecha things that try not to do too much about. They do a lot of politics with the mech shit, just because there needs to be a reason for them to fight and stuff like that.
Looking at you, Lelouch. I said, looking at you, Lelouch.
Which is what I was about to say, which is coming out with a new thing, but
Code Geass did a good job of building like the world in terms of like the hierarchy of politics and stuff.
Geopolitical bullshit.
But in terms of like the mechiness of it, it wasn't a super lot for Code Geass.
It'd probably be one of the seasons of Gundam.
See, the problem with Gundam is that...
Give it to Gundam like that,
or would it be Evangelion? Because they kind of did both.
Evangelion's good, but there's too many things that are left out. There's too many things that like I know about because I had a phase where I was just like, oh, I need to look at every fucking thing that's Evangelion. I need to look through everything and then it's like, it's almost like it's got kind of like a Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy 15 problem where it's like, if you're trying to get the whole entire story, you need to go beyond the show.
Watch
then
all 8 movies and
read the comics and fucking read like director's cut shit and all this other fucking whatever. And you find out shit that's like, oh, that's the reason why that happened, or that's the reason why there's angels and humans on the same world. They're not supposed to be on the same world and all this other shit. And it's like, Evangelion's good. I just don't think they do enough in the shows. Now, one thing I haven't seen is I went through that phase before they redid all the movies. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen those. So those might explain more shit. I don't know. But, I don't know. I always thought, I was exposed to Evangelion at the same time as this other show called Razafon. I always thought that one was better.
I watched Razafon too. I like that one. I think if...
Weird bullshit time shenanigans.
Yeah. like weird time shenanigans.
But I'm alright with it being Gundam as long as it's not a Big O.
I just don't know what season it is. Oh, it's definitely not Big O.
See,
Big O was confusing as fuck, and I don't remember.
I hate the fact that there are people who try to say Big O was so great.
I enjoyed Big O.
And that fucking group.
I kind of, like, I didn't... See, as a kid, I had the same feeling for Big O as I did for, like, Batman animated series. It's
literally the same
It's
thing.
literally the same fucking thing. It's just...
I enjoyed Big O because it was like, what if Batman had mechs instead of other stuff?
Yeah.
And
what if Batman didn't have a suit? He just had mechs.
So, and also whenever, like, he was like, Big O! And then, like, who's he fighting? We're fighting Big Foul and Mega Deuce. It sounded cool. So I enjoyed it.
Or he's got that dumb thing in his arm.
But like I've watched through Big O like 5 times. I've only seen the ending once, but I've watched through it 5 times because they'll show it on like Toonami or Adult Swim.
Yeah, I'm about to say it was about the same for me. The fact that it was
Steve Blum.
Fucking Steve Blum.
It was I had nothing better to do, and
so
I'm waiting for the show
episodes.
that comes on after this.
I watched that when I came back home from college, and I was like, I have nothing to do. Don't have a job. You got shit to do.
Yeah, kids go to college, no job.
Big up.
But
question. Sorry to interrupt. Is it just me, or is it colder in the house?
I can't tell.
I stay with wrapped up.
What's it on?
Should be 70.
God damn. He stole some of my life force.
Should be 70.
Before I forget, so I've enjoyed Big O. I watched it through a few times, but I've never watched it in like a complete sitting. It's always been I catch 10 episodes, then I catch another 10 episodes, then it restarted. I kept so I enjoyed it, but I have no idea what the story was about. I know there was this whole like, oh, everything's alive, blah blah blah, puppet, yada yada, we're being controlled. There's a whole bunch of that stuff. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. But I can't
start
speak
fucking memories or some shit.
But I can't speak on the world building because I saw it in chunks.
They really
Gundam?
only stayed in one city.
Yeah.
Gundam is tricky to give it to because certain seasons of Gundam follow into other seasons of Gundam. So it's like, oh, we're gonna say, like, for example, we say Gundam Unicorn. Gundam Unicorn is part of like a 10 series thing because it happens in the Universal Century.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you say G Gundam is in its own other thing. Like, it's called G Gundam is Future Century.
I think in terms of world building, I'd probably just give it to G Gundam because, you know, I like G Gundam, but like fucking...
See, he's like, I'm giving it to G Gundam because I like G Gundam.
But the thing about it was, like, the conflict was a resolution that was like, okay, instead of having all these fucking bullshit wars like they do in every other fucking season of Gundam, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like, every country gets a fucking Gundam. You make your fucking Mexico, you can make your fucking Gundam with a stupid ass sombrero, and Denmark or wherever the fuck you can make your stupid windmill thing. Fucking Africa gets its zebra Gundam, even though Africa should have a buttload of different Gundams and should always win because fuck tons of Gundams, fuck tons of countries. But never mind that. We don't know about that. Anyway, fucking
Usopp Gundam.
There was one. Wasn't the Italian Gundam like no? Italian Gundam was the first guy. He was a dick. Anyway, the whole story is just about them being like, okay, how do we curtail fucking World War, and we have the technology to fucking blitzkrieg everything to fucking shit. So what do we do instead? Competition. Make your Gundams fight each other, this, that, and third. And whoever wins gets control of all the colonies and all over Earth and shit.
Yeah.
It's literally the system that Yusuke set up for the fucking Demon World. And that's another one too. Yu Hakusho is good world building too. Decent.
Yeah, I agree.
If you like for Gundam as a whole,
and the manga's better.
Like, you know, Gundam, but
that's always the case.
Picking specific seasons for Gundam is tricky, just because certain seasons lead into other seasons.
A lot of seasons I haven't seen, so I can't. Yeah. But you told me Kill la Kill has a manga. Did it make a manga after the show?
It had to be like after it because I refused to watch it, and I was online just, and I read it like online. I can't remember the website that I was watching.
You don't want to cheer on Nudist Beach as they take on the bad guys?
I just because you already know, like me and fan service don't get along, and I can't stand
Joe,
it.
I have a question.
And I say that being a gigantic fucking pervert, literally, figuratively, and literally being the fact that I'm over 6'5".
But Joe, I can.
What about it?
Fan service all day.
Comedy.
So
that was when I was young. And before I was really...
What is it about... Why are you trying to fight yourself and not like fan service? What is it about the titties and the nipples and the booty?
It's excessive. It's just a little excessive, and it's like, don't try and...
You sound like those fucking Christian people at your fucking theater. I don't want your goddamn anime titties all over my fucking music.
Well, no, because it's just... Don't try to sucker me in with the fact that I love big-ass titties and big asses. No, I see the fact that your plot is
bigger.
Bigger.
I love. Wait, the look on his face before he said that last bigger. He's just like, "Dare I do it? Dare I spit in the face of God when I've been given bigger?" The computer just breaks, and you're just like, "Oh!" This shit was hilarious. Oh my god!
It just the more the fan service, the less of the good story, basically, and it's always been that way.
Air Gear begs to differ. Air Gear had a decent story.
Air Gear had some world building too.
But
world building.
Air Gear
was okay. I didn't.
Did you read the manga?
The thing about
I didn't read the manga.
The thing about Air Gear though is that my dude Ogure Ito, great, he's a fucking hentai artist. Like that's where he started. So making the hentai is not hard for him, so he has more time to focus on the story. So I will give him that. He's not. That's not an exception to your rule. So I'm trying to think of another one that's like had a buttload of fan service, literally, but like
that Kame got killed,
but like fell short. Kame got killed in.
Well, no. Yeah, for the fact it had fan service and it was actually good.
I don't feel like it.
Goblin Slayer was one that had quite a bit of fan service and a little bit extra, but
a little bit too much.
It had a really good story, and the fan service was only probably about 2 or 3 episodes.
So I don't know if I count Kame got killed for having a lot of
then it's like stuff like High
School of the Dead.
Was it? We literally went over this, like, the little titty magic.
The funny thing about the titties is that the bullet was moving slow, was it not? So for her titties to be able to move that fast, in real life they would have been like they would have been going so fucking fast that like you couldn't perceive them.
That's why I had to slow everything down.
It's like Hiei in the first fight. You didn't see the nipple; it only stepped gently to the left.
We got to talk about speed in a little bit because I'm so sick of people.
You brought it on yourself. Well, I got a question for you, Joe.
He is the best. He's the fastest anime.
Well, not like speedsters. Like
I don't know, man. I think a light admiral.
And how I had to explain to people talking about Super, and I was like, the reason why they would do all this stuff within that time frame, like so much of it, is the fact that they're moving beyond what we can actually see, and they talked about that during Frieza.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to gauge a lot of these shows because it's hard to tell whether or not you're watching from the standpoint of a person who's in there and can see shit, or a person who is like static and just like I'm a normal person. Like Bleach is clearly like normal person. You're watching because no one can see anything. You can't see shit. But yeah,
well. That's because they can't see anything because spirits and shit like that. But
no, I mean if a regular person who's like not that strong but still like perceiving their like and then through their, she kind of can't really see either.
She's able to watch over all that stuff though. When she was watching Ichigo and Grinjal fight, she's still able to keep up and watch everything.
Get the fuck out of my house. Yeah, fucking bullshit Dankanonji thing. I fucking hate that shit.
Dankanonji is another one where it's like it's able to keep up with that. But then you can look at it with very low level Soul Reapers who aren't that fast.
Ichigo wasn't really he wasn't like flash stepping on niggas back then.
But that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to what's the dude from Squad 4 that apparently got raped by all his The one I got
Hanataro.
molested. Yeah, Hanataro. Yes, him.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You don't remember that at all?
Fuck no, I don't remember. Yo, every time I talk to Joe, he's like, yo, somebody got molested. Fucking, it was heavily implied Nami got molested. I was like, did I read something different?
Well, go back and
I don't wanna. I don't wanna.
You didn't hear about
when Hinata, when they were in the sewers and Hinata was sleeping, and they walk him up, he's like, "No, don't touch me there! Stop! Just leave me alone for once." And it's like, what? Because even Ichigo,
they probably like prank him and shit while he's sleeping. I don't think they molest him.
Go read.
Because why the fuck wouldn't you molest Rangiku? Because she could kill you.
Exactly.
And
Who
Gin.
apparently had a Bankai, which pissed me off.
But it's worth it.
Gin.
Them titties are worth it, though.
Yeah, Rangiku, Gin's gonna get you. So you're gonna be tortured more than what you would get tortured with Clownface. I'm blanking on his name right now. Kurotsuchi.
Yep.
You took the easy name. I went for the harder one.
You remember the last name?
That's what I said. I was going for the harder one. You went for the easy one. Yeah, Gein's gonna straight fuck you up for that one.
Burning stuff.
But you have the low level ones like that who are capable of watching Byakuya go and do his stuff. Now, for people along the level of Yoruichi, that's a different story. Because Yoruichi is like the fastest out of everybody.
Is she really?
Yeah, that's why I just called the God of Flash. She is like...
Yeah, Soifan thought she was on that level. She's like, that's cute.
And then it seems like that technique is more about distance after a certain point than actual like speed, I guess. That still counts as speed, I guess. Because you're like, I got so far in like one step.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I went this much faster at one step. It's like, I guess it counts like whatever. It's annoying too because you can't measure how far they went in that one step. So you're like,
but yeah, it was. I kept telling him, well, yeah, it may be only a half hour, and that what they're saying is going down with this, and all of this is happening. But that's also because within this half hour, you have people who are basically breaking time, literally hit being someone who can practically control it. So yeah, they're moving at such a rapid pace that that's why all this is happening. And I kept getting upset when everyone is like saying, "No, it doesn't make any sense." Like, first of all, it's anime. Yeah. Anime logic is always going to make you confused. Just fucking take it.
Hey, Neil deGrasse Tyson, watch this anime and give us your opinion on the anime physics.
That's my thing, though, because I feel like sometimes they set rules, and some people are really good at following their own rules. They're like, if you like, physics exists in this world, but I'm using this bullshit, like magical, mystical, whatever, to fuck physics in the ass.
With no lube.
With no lube, no Vaseline. But when you, like, sometimes they just go like, oh, fucking, well, this thing happened, this, that, and third, and you're like, okay, but doesn't that break your rule you said before? It's like, it's anime, suspend your disbelief. It's like, nigga, you learn how to write a fucking story.
See, that's when you get everyone with, oh, look at the titties. Don't mind this. That's why.
Don't look at the plot holes. Just look at her holes.
Exactly. That's where that shit comes into play. That pisses me off.
You're looking at the wrong holes.
But Joe, they're giving you culture.
But when it comes to stuff like that, I start getting irritated because it's like, why are you going against your own fucking rules on this? Now, it kind of turns me off and wanting to finish watching it. And that's why one thing I love with One Piece, it keeps it very, very clear cut with stuff like that.
Joe, I know you said you didn't read the Air Gear manga, but when you said hit and time, it reminded me of when Kazu and Ikki were fighting, and he made that shield out of time to stop Ikki's Kamehameha wave of wind.
It's always fucking weird when they do that, because they show you like, oh, it's time, and it's like, no, it's like fucking heat or some bullshit.
Yeah, but it was just mad cool because Ikki just Kamehameha wave. He was like, boop, nope, and I'm like, oh. Now do that in a fight instead of playing around with each other.
Their powers are kind of broken as fuck.
I never get great value.
Bougie. Fucking, my cheese is imported.
I never
That's
said
some
that.
bougie ass shit.
I always I never once said that I don't have bougie taste when it comes
Yes.
to food.
Quality tastes.
I see what you mean with the Popeyes thing.
Yeah.
He has a refined palate.
I really do not though. I wish I was on Gordon Ramsay level type shit to be honest.
You a poodle?
Like, I can taste the toast
Like you have to
in
be.
this Chardonnay.
But no, it's not.
Fucking what?
I was fortunate enough to experience greatness.
Giggity.
Fucking
And
Giggity.
go clap.
I just exactly. I can just taste the difference between like that, so it fucks with me.
It's that fucking Japanese pretentious ass shit.
So you leave my heritage alone.
If you ask the Japanese, they will swear up and down, no, yeah, we have the best palates in the world. Everybody has trash palates. You're just like, fucking, okay.
But so I openly admit to the fact that I have a
Niggas
horrible
eat
palate.
chicken ass anyway. So fuck.
Chicken ass, duck blood, which is that's a weird one.
Pig blood.
Duck. You said duck blood?
Yeah. They'll boil it and it'll come out in a gelatinous cube that they have.
Is that what
Jello.
blood pudding is?
It's different. I never had it. I've never seen it, but it
Doesn't
is.
look appetizing.
Yeah.
It's weird because this is when I was in China when I dealt with this. Going to one of the restaurants, we ordered a duck, and apparently it's good luck if you eat the duck's head, which I was like, y'all can have that luck. That's good because the eyes and everything are still in there.
Wait, Joe. So wait, if the duck handles this way and it just went that way at you, would you just walked away from the table?
Yeah. It's like, chopsticks down.
So,
but it's very weird because I was like, "What's this?" And I go to grab it, and it was so brittle. Like the moment you have to be very gentle with even grabbing it. But they come out, it's all sliced, and you just go and pick it up, and you just eat it. It was weird. It was a very weird thing. I tasted it because when in Rome, right? It wasn't.
Find a goddamn Pizza Hut or some shit.
You know what? This was all being catered by the government while we were out there. We didn't pay for anything. We didn't pay for anything.
I don't need your handouts.
I'm an adult. So I threw it on the ground. But it was just interesting. It's something I wouldn't go for. But
like I wouldn't put that evil on someone else.
Seaweed candy though, the seaweed candy, I will eat that any day. Very
like
good.
Sugar with seaweed on it?
No. Basically,
Is it like candied seaweed, like candied orange pills?
no, it's not. They weren't sweet at all. You're basically. It tastes like fish, or you can say fish tastes like seaweed because the fish eat the seaweed. However you want to speculate on which one is which, fuck you for me.
Fish candy.
Yeah, basically, but it's actual seaweed. It's just dry seaweed. They have some flavors that's on there, but it's really good.
How is it candy?
They just call it candy.
I'm just imagining somebody being mad disrespectful.
I thought it was like
that's
a
what
cracker.
Communism is. They try to give you something that's not candy. It's candy.
I mean,
we put a gun to your head and be like, "It's candy, isn't it?" You're like, "Yeah."
It's either candy or Tiananmen Square, which you choose, basically.
Be like, hey, you vegetarian, here's some candy. Just being mad
But it
disrespectful.
was good though. It was good though. I thought it was a cracker when we first
fucked up. It's just jump off a building.
Maybe that's how they can control obesity, eating seaweed candy.
I'd be the fucked up individual to jump off those buildings for fun. It's just seeing because the net's there. It's nets.
Eagle.
Fucking hell. But then every time they gotta get somebody to get you down, you're just like, ah. Frank's at it again.
Next time, we're just gonna cut the damn net on you.
We're gonna cut it on purpose so you just come right through. It's like, damn.
Oh my gosh. It is. I'll tell you right now, though, I enjoyed being out there in China. I unfortunately can't go back out there anymore, but
why not?
I mean, you can't fly out there unless you want to go to Mexico or Canada to fly out there.
Yeah.
So, but then you want to get back
with,
in the States, though.
Coronavirus and all that shit, you can't do any of that stuff.
So I have a question for you, Broseph. I know you were not too excited to eat the duck head, but how do you feel about the what is it, the squid or the octopus, and they put the soy sauce on it and it activates the nerves and they still move around? How do you feel about that?
Well, that's only in Japan.
Okay.
And I never dealt with that. I am a fan of calamari, but I don't do raw fish at all.
Okay.
I used to eat sushi a lot.
I had a bad batch.
No. It's one of those things where I ate it so much that I no longer like it.
Okay.
And that's
I know some people who have problems like that.
It's like me and pork chops.
Yeah.
It's very sad, which I'm shocked that didn't happen with me and Dr. Pepper, for how much I drink Dr. Pepper, or me with tea.
How could it?
I mean,
Dr. Pepper's so amazing.
So
right.
That's because tea is mostly water and you need that. Unless it's my kind of tea, then it's just mostly sugar. That's how you stay strong.
Joe tea.
Or someone else's tea. Here's a lemonade.
What my mom makes? I keep telling her it's a fucking Arnold Palmer. That's why it's good. And also, she puts mad crack in it because it's just fucking sugar.
Like, hey, we have
it tastes so good. It's like, yeah, because there's like 5 pounds of sugar in it.
We have lemonade flavored syrup.
Another one she should watch is the Angel Beats. I think that show.
Angel Beats, yeah.
Another one dealing with mindsets of
Feels.
people.
What? Yeah, that one. That too. Sorry, I'm just waiting for Mark.
with dealing with speed though, I just to circle back, full circle.
Yeah.
I wish people would stop trying to put like our real world shit in there when if they could clearly state that it's not the case, or if they are saying like with Dragon Ball Z is very grounded with the fact that yes, we're dealing with regular physics and stuff like that, but realize this is how their scaling is, which is why I appreciate power scaling for Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, some forms of power scaling are actually good. Some of them are not great because it's like, oh, that guy beat that guy, which means he can beat that guy, right? It's like, not necessarily.
That sounds like Beyblades.
Yeah, right. And then there's also the thing you were talking about the other day when we were watching the Leo versus Red Ranger. The whole thing where like dodging fucking lightning is as easy as dodging the person aiming the lightning at you.
Yes.
So
I don't like that.
So Kenshin is not dodging a bullet. Kenshin is dodging the barrel of the gun that is aiming at him and the person pulling the trigger.
I mean, that's what Batman does. That's why he doesn't get shot.
Also, he's got buttloads of bulletproof bullshit. Like his cape is bulletproof, his cowl is bulletproof, all of it's bulletproof.
That's another thing that I really wish people would understand with lightning. It's like, because what you were saying, if someone has to point at you, and then so you're just dodging that. Yeah. Now, if it's a case where they fired it off, you didn't realize, and then halfway through them doing that, you see that, and you dodge it that way, I will give you that. Then I can say
your speed, at the very least, your reaction time is a third the speed of light.
Yes. I was gonna say that's what I remember. There was something like that with Spider-Man. Like someone shot a gun at Spider-Man, and he was able to dodge it before the bullet left the barrel. So they shot before he started his dodge, but he was able to dodge it before the bullet left the barrel.
That's why spider senses are so broken, and that's the reason why Spider-Man is such a good fucking hero, is because it's not just the Hulk-like strength that he has. It's the fact that most of the time when he's about to get hit by something, he's just not going to die from it because he already knows it's coming and he's already moving out of the way. Now, sometimes he doesn't listen to spider senses, or sometimes there are people who can get around it, but other than that, most things are not going to hurt him.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best power he has.
Oh, with the Simpsons, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Spider-Man was another one where I never read the comics for. I only did with the animated show.
Mm.
And it got.
You talking about the one from the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was solid.
It's just comic books just put into animation form, which is good.
Yeah,
a
lot of the older
straight from the fucking.
Yeah,
show.
a lot of the older cartoons for the comic book stuff is like them just straight putting it out. The newer ones that are short, those are the ones where they try to push everything into it.
Yeah, but they never touched on how strong he actually was.
Most times they don't.
Yeah, and when I was reading it, there was one day I was just going through because I just got done reading through the Secret Wars. And
which one? The old one or the old one?
Old. Which I should probably just kind of go through and reread things because there was stuff that CJ was telling me dealing with Thor that I should really go and like re-catch up on, seeing that he is my favorite hero. But
Jane
that's
Foster.
why I wanted to go and
yeah.
see is what is Spider-Man really capable of. And I was shocked to think that base form Hulk strength is basically what Spider-Man has. And
he just holds back the most.
Yeah, and I was like, to think that the fact that he's holding back that much is
what happened
crazy.
in Superior Spider-Man when Dr. Octopus was in his body. Dr. Octopus basically punched someone and almost killed them, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And I like was really holding back. Then it's like, yeah, Peter holds back a lot because somebody else gets in his body and starts using his body, and then it's like, oh shit, they just fucking
Wolverine's
in a
done
house.
Yeah, Lex Luthor has as well.
Lex Luthor.
Who is this?
Oh, that shit was great. No, you know what's funny about that though? That was the guy who did the voice for the Flash during that, and I think that this is the reason why they did this. Dude from Smallville, Lex Luthor from Smallville voiced the Flash in Justice League. So when Lex Luthor was inside Flash's body, and he was just like, I have no idea who this is. It was just supposed to be like a funny thing for like, oh, the dude who used to voice Lex Luthor used to be Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. It's fucking hilarious. That guy with hair is weird. I've seen that guy with hair.
Yeah, I remember you saying that it didn't. Yeah.
Think if he had, didn't you say it balances out when he has facial hair though?
Yeah, I saw him with a beard a couple years later, and it was like, oh, okay.
Is it like Henry Cavill's with Mission Impossible? Weird lip movement type shit.
Fucking, it's a fucking growing mustache. It's like
Super Fist of the nose hairs,
right?
I remember he telling me about that, and I went to go watch the damn fight, and I didn't see it.
You have to like stare at his mustache the entire time, and you have to like.
He's so ugly.
Is that why they had him grow the mustache?
That's why I was confused when I saw him on TV. I said, "I'm like, what the fuck movie is this?"
Yeah, right.
It was fucking Immortals or something. I didn't know Henry Cavill was in Immortals.
Yeah, he was
the main guy, right? Yeah.
I didn't know
he was just a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Or Mickey Rourke was in there. Right?
Yeah.
Yep, he was the bad guy.
I was like, God damn, you just let your girl get killed by Mickey Rourke.
The wrestler.
I mean, what's the name was in it too? Freaking Dracula. He was Zeus.
Which Dracula?
Dracula Untold.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah, that he.
Oh shit!
So that's what
Star Killer was in there. Yo.
Yep, and that was the dude from, if you've seen The Hobbit. He was the guy who took down Smaug with the black arrow. That's him too. Yeah.
I still haven't seen through those movies.
Yeah,
I only saw the first one.
He gets around. People just don't notice it. He be all over the place.
Just be in places randomly.
Yeah.
That's what great actors are for. You know.
Yeah. Good to see him getting work.
He is a phenomenal actor.
Huh.
Actually, you know what I just thought about? I think not Tyrion. What was the dad's name from Game of Thrones? The Lannister.
Tywin or some shit.
I think
like
Tywin was the vampire source from Dracula Untold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was Dracula.
Yeah.
He was in Godzilla, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was the bad guy.
I still got to see the second one. I haven't seen it.
He is a very, very accomplished actor, and I'm surprised that he was. I think he's knighted, but
He's British.
Yes.
I gotta see the second Godzilla. I haven't seen it yet.
Can she knight non-British people?
Yeah.
You want to get knighted?
I mean, kind of. It'd be kind of dope to be like Sir Justin Walker. Fucking.
That's not the whole name. Say it like proud.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there are a few Americans that are knighted. They're also, I can't remember what they're called. They have a title like honorable.
Countrymen.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because we don't get called sirs because we're not British.
Well, no, they still get called sir, but then there's other ones that have like there's a title where it's like honorable or something like that, which isn't like that.
He's most gracious.
It's not like he's a lord or anything like that.
Yeah.
You don't get it. It's not like you get any fucking Broseph, Quiggles.
So Broseph of the Quiggles. Fucking
Joe Kage of Latveria.
Latveria, Jesus. Why would you want to be there? So apparently, there was a person who was an Apple employee who was riding in his Tesla, and he was. Sure you want to say that about him?
No.
Riding in his Tesla. Let me finish the story first. Goddamn. He's riding his Tesla, playing games on his phone because autopilot. Autopilot wasn't programmed to deal with something in traffic or something like that, and he ran. It like accelerated into, I think like a median or like a brick cement side thing or something on the highway. He got killed. That was fucked up. I did not know. Like I know the car drives itself, but apparently even in autopilot, you're supposed to keep your hands on the wheel and like pay attention.
They didn't put a. They're probably gonna have to put a what do you call it, Deadman switch or whatever it's called. The things where if you let it go, it'll cut off.
Possibly.
Those are everybody who's been knighted.
George H.W. Bush, Dwight D. Eisenhower. The fuck did Bill Gates do?
Bill Gates? You're asking what Bill Gates did?
Gave her a computer and she just knighted him?
He probably gave her like all the money they have right now.
What I gotta do? Fuck the queen and then maybe I'll get knighted? I don't have anything, so. J. Edgar Hoover, Bob Hope. The fuck did Angelina... Oh, she's an ambassador. Yeah. To what country, though?
For who?
Angelina Jolie. She's an ambassador for what country? I know she's an American ambassador. I just don't know what country she's from. Andre Previn, Dame Marjorie Scardino, Fuck Steven Spielberg. Why the fuck does he get to be knighted? Man, fuck that nigga. Ralph Lauren. He made her a negligee, you know that. He made her a fucking teddy or some shit. Like, yeah, you like that sexy shit? Come to find out she's the queen of freaks.
I mean, you never know.
Dude, you just reminded me of something.
Sex orgies in the fucking palace.
Just reminded me of something. There is a Van Helsing animated movie.
It's the reason they call it Buckingham Palace.
There is a Van Helsing animated movie where the queen gets turned young. And basically she was hitting on Van Helsing. And then she had wanted to kiss him. And right before she kissed him, she turned back old. And when she turned back old, she didn't have her memories of it. So she tried to get that man arrested.
Oh, shit.
And he was like, we're out of here now. I'm trying to remember who, because someone was trying to do something like youth or immortality thing and some shenanigans with the queen.
That was always funny in the, what was that? Helsing Abridged, where they always had Alucard flirting with that one queen, I guess, or I don't know if she's the Queen of England or what, but he was always, she's like, if only I was a few years younger. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Do this shit right now. Let's get this done. Nah, it was fucked up. But yeah, so self-driving cars, man, you gonna do it? You can get a self-driving car? Self-drive yourself?
I think I need to be able to afford a regular car first.
I see, that was one of the things, though, that's like, there's too many situations I can think of in traffic that's like, how do you program for that? And honestly, it's one of those things where like you're not gonna be able to program for every single little thing that can happen. So
yeah,
It's unfortunate.
Like, they'd have to, like, I don't want to say the simplest way, but they would have to do something where, like, instead of the cars driving themselves, it was more like the road isn't open. It's like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It's kind of like I don't want to say grid based, but it's like the cars would always go like within a certain path. They wouldn't deviate from that path, and that would basically prevent the accidents.
That's what they try to do with some of the cars have sensors where they can see the lines and shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I think there was a movie that did it. Was it Total Recall?
iRobot.
Possibly, yeah, iRobot. Whereas like the cars always were in like a certain spot. So, and they drove themselves, but because they were always in those spots, they didn't have to worry about...
They're all driving themselves, so there was no worry of, like, somebody's driving like a crazy person, like an idiot, unless you're Will Smith.
Yeah, I was about to say Will Smith.
It's like, we're going 600 miles an hour. It's like, yeah, so...
Asshole.
That movie was mad good.
Okay, everyone's hating on it.
Who's hating on it?
A lot of people hate on that movie. I never understood why.
Maybe they didn't like Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf?
Because he was in it for, like, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Not even. Just hate on him for no reason. Why do people hate on him for, like, no reason?
Shia LaBeouf or the movie?
Shia LaBeouf.
Because after, like, Transformers, he started getting very out there. So basically the child star curse started happening with him. It kind of started when he wore that paper bag over his head saying, I'm not famous anymore.
His child curse started like when he was a fucking child. Because his abusive dad and all this other shit or whatever was going on with him is like, that kind of cemented it.
I was saying there was a lot, but it didn't really
start to manifest outwardly manifest until then.
Was the paperback thing before or after Indiana Jones? Do you know?
After, I think.
I don't remember.
Because Indiana Jones, like what, 2014, most recent one.
And then it had to be before that because wasn't it like 12 when that happened? When was the Transformers out before the one with the two twin cars
that people didn't like, so they took them out of the next movie?
That was out while we were in college, so that was like 2000.
That was the second movie.
That was the second one.
So it was around that time because that was like the last one he was in, wasn't it?
No,
he was in another one.
Yeah, he was in 1, 2, and 3, I believe.
Yeah, because he was. They switched out Megan Fox for
that
some other chick. Yeah,
for anti-Semite stuff.
Was it anti-Semite stuff, or was that the point where she yelled at Michael Bay?
Well, she would yell at him, but wasn't it? She was being like anti-Semitic.
I don't think it was her yelling at him because she was like, I think they were in she was in another one of his movies after that.
I think they patched up their relationship, but at one point they were like, not really talking. I think it was after they'd done the casting for the third movie, which is why she just didn't come back. Which is weird because why'd she work with him again for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? But like,
yeah, there you go, Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles is probably...
I heard they're doing something for it though.
Well, I don't think it was with him though. I thought it was like the producer or someone that was on the set that was...
I think you might be right, but I think Michael Bay caught some strays from that. She was like, yeah, fuck the producer. And fuck that nigga over there with his dumbass explosions. I can't remember exactly what she said about him, but she said something that he was like, get out.
Explosions are lame.
How dare you talk about my explosions like that? Those are my children.
Like, what are
I've given them names.
What are you without your explosions?
Explosion is art. Like, he's Data now. Or,
oh my god, no.
Actually, you know who you need to check out, Joe? Talking about explosions are art, dude from Stray Dogs. Dude,
no. So stupid.
He's like, "What is life? What is death?" Oh, and she went off on that man. She
beat the living fuck out of that guy. She's like, "I'll show you what life and death is, and I'll show you to fucking respect it instead of just throwing people's lives away."
She went off.
Well, yeah, because he's sitting there, oh, what is life? I guess I can just kill people to find out. It's like, the fuck kind of like 2-year-old logic is that? What is life? Better kill people. All right.
Everyone with their stands showed up.
Baby, don't hurt me. So
you gotta sing it like Smeagol.
Singing like Prince. I would not have seen the speed. So apparently Harvey Weinstein got found. He got charged on 2 counts of whatever he's charged. He's guilty
rape.
of. Yeah. Or like sexual harassment or whatever it was.
That's what you get.
So
Go to jail,
for
keep
all
your butthole tight.
nighty tight, keep that butthole tight. So for all the people who were like, oh well, they're not doing anything with Harvey Weinstein, it's just like, it's almost like the court system takes a little bit longer than you thought.
So that's the third one, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Transformers Dark of the Moon was the third one.
I was trying to make sure because
Dark of the Moon. Yeah,
it's not loading completely for her.
because the 4th one was Age of Extinction, wasn't it? That was the first one with Marky Mark.
Yes, that was in 2014.
And then they had the 5th one,
which is 17. So I had to be like 12, 13 when that happened.
The whole Knights with the Dragon thing was mad cool.
Or 11 to like 13.
that was weird. Definitely weird.
But it's because they never put Weinstein in like the main front, even though he was the first one that people were talking about, and they kind of went a roundabout way and keeping everything with him very quiet for whatever reason.
But they made it seem like the courts weren't doing shit, and I'm it takes time for that shit.
But nothing was coming out whatsoever on the updates with it.
Was he the
while
one?
Everyone else around him, like, it was constant updates.
Was he the one where, because I know there was somebody who was on trial for something, and it was like, hey, in order to keep everything chill, we're going to expose some stuff about this person over here, so no one would take notice of the trial?
Kinda, yeah.
That was him?
People were, yeah.
Okay. Because I knew I heard something like that, but I didn't know the specifics. I don't watch the news. I get my news from you. And you.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked up though, and I'm glad that he's
his
found guilty.
comeuppance.
Now they just have to sentence him for whatever. I don't know how they're gonna do that. What they're gonna do with that?
Yeah, but once
Take
the
all
bail
your
run
money.
is set, though, that's the
To
Yeah.
Northstar Otaku.
The bail's set, and then he just fucking jets.
yeah, that's like the main thing that really kind of gets with it. Yeah, you're going to serve this long, but if you pay $1 million, we'll let you go.
Who was it that got the fuck out? Like they knew that they were coming for them, and they just left.
No, I can't remember.
No court case, no nothing. They just left.
Fleeing the country.
Right?
Smart move. But still going to get your butthole. Anyway.
Well, yeah. Now you have to live in a place where the water sucks, and that's gonna get your butthole.
Yeah. Booty hole. But then you got the family that is getting charged completely for child negligence and endangering a child, and then the son is getting charged for statutory rape statutory rape and I guess endangering a child, because it was 11-year-old that gave birth in her bathroom.
Oh, I heard about that. That's fucking gross. What was?
And well, because the girl was getting molested by her brother, and the parents didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And when she gave birth, the father took her and the child to the hospital, but he was so scared and freaking out that he lied about who she was and like their relationship between everything, because he was really, really, really scared at the fact that this happened in my house. How is this going to come back on him? Which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, not kind of fucked up. It is fucked up.
Very bad.
And
coming back on you very bad. Fucking.
But for him to like just kind of come out and saying like an hour or so afterwards, and then they started questioning things, he had to, because the parents are going to have to be notified, and they're going to do blood tests, and it's like, oh, that's you. So the mother.
Why do people still move like we don't have blood tests and fingerprint shit and all this? It's like, bruh.
It's like the names here. You have the same last name.
It literally takes a couple hours to do a blood test.
And then all of them got arrested. The mother, father, and the boy. The mother pled not guilty to child endangerment, and she was going to face like 2 years in jail, $10,000 bail. To now she's facing about 6 years in jail and $100,000 because the judge was like, "Well, fuck you, because your child damn near died giving birth." So
because you didn't know 11-year-old is like, she's probably gonna have like health issues after that.
So there's no one knows like the health state of the little girl. Like, I mean, I understand leaving her alone because that's a lot that's going on right now.
Yeah, there's no need to pry anymore into her life. It's already kind of fucked up.
But the father just pled guilty because, for one, he felt guilty, and you kind of just failed as a protector to your little girl.
It kind of sucks too. You didn't know what was going on in your own house, but it's unfortunate because you're
I think they have him on suicide watch.
They have him on it. Oh, okay, yeah. It's fucked up because a lot of times you don't know what's happening in your own house, and it's just like.
And lighter news, not really news, is something that so a friend of mine, apparently he got charged. This is from the past, it's just funny to me. Apparently he got charged for
one of those things where it's like it's a friend of mine, but it's actually me. No,
I don't have cable. But a friend of mine, he got charged.
This is why you don't have cable.
But apparently he someone racked up like $300 of like porn.
Someone
on his like cable bill or whatever. But the thing is, no one was home at that time. So there's timestamps of someone buying it.
So you had ghosts looking at porn?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like, he told me, I started cracking up. There was someone home, the 2 cats. That was it.
Cats are looking at porn. Yeah, look at that kitty cat. Fucking, I can't with this
I just
shit.
had to lighten things up a little bit, that's all.
Bruh.
So is this Eric you're talking about?
Nope. Somebody you know, but not him.
Wow. So you just gonna say that and not say who the fuck it is?
Well, not on the air.
The fuck not?
Actually, somebody you know too.
Wait, I know too?
Yep.
Who do I know that?
It's a mystery.
Oh my god, no. Nah, Joe would know that if it was him.
Would he though?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, Devon?
Yeah. You would know if that was Devon.
Yeah, no, that's not him.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't sound like something stupid Devon would do. Smart as that shit.
I don't pay for my porn.
Exactly.
I always wondered the mindset of people who pay for porn. They're just like,
they probably have a favorite person.
I got
like, hey,
here you go.
It's probably is the whole money and the fact what CJ was saying. Like, I have gone through so many different free porn sites that this one person in particular, someone that I like.
The fun part is the hunt.
But
you help for that one scene in a way you're like, I gotta find it.
But there are a lot of them to where, or at least, because remember back then, you really didn't have a lot of people who was out there posting this stuff.
Yeah.
But now you have even more people going through who are get paid lots of money to go, oh, found it, here it is. And then they go and report it back to them, and they get paid however much money to.
See, you know what it was.
And then they get it.
Somebody's marriage got saved because of some porn. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna slide you this $100 bill real quick. Wow, you saved our marriage. That position right there got me 3 kids now. Thank you.
Do couples buy porn as a couple?
Yeah. I've seen, being in show world, I've seen so many couples in there picking out porn, and also toys. It's actually, I've never
been in a relationship where anybody wanted to admit that they were looking at porn.
I would. You talking about Jake and you?
No, I said I've never been in one.
Oh, I thought you never. Okay.
Because I haven't been in too many relationships, but when I was younger, that was more like, well, we can't really buy porn. We're not old enough to buy porn.
I was a good kid. I didn't get into porn until after I was 18.
Oh, nigga.
But he made it all the time.
Porn fucking ruined me. I was in the porn at I was like fucking 14 or some shit.
Uh-oh. Just ran yourself out.
I don't give a fuck.
That's why those showers are so long, Justin.
Showers are so... Yeah, because I need to fucking clean myself. You see how much of me is here? Shit.
So dirty.
I actually fucking... why do people always assume that? Because I've never actually done that in a shower. I think that's too weird.
I think... I don't know. Parents probably... Like, oh, 1 and 2. Longer showers. Must be jerking it.
I'm like, no, I'm just fucking cleaning my ass because I need to be clean. I can't smell. I mean, I can't be this ugly and smell.
Going through puberty at that point, I was like, yeah, I started scrubbing really hard under my armpits when I was like, why do I smell so much worse now?
That's because you moved that to the side and did full blast.
Shit. Oh my god.
Can you imagine if that's how that worked? Like your hair was like containing like the full force of the funk.
I mean,
that kind of is how it works though too, because it kind of just sits
the deodorant helps, the carrots clumping onto that shit. It's like, ugh.
Making that crusty berry.
Crust berry.
Like if I wasn't so opposed to shaving and whatnot, I probably would shave my armpits.
Are you gonna be a pro wrestler?
I cut mine. I don't really shave them though.
I don't know. I'm just a natural person. Outside of like my facial hair and my
fucking mountain man.
That's right, ladies. Coming up over here, you get a whole bunch of bush.
Lumberjack.
See, that's the one good thing about me, though.
When you said Bush, why did I go straight to the fucking president?
You mean Sir Bush?
No, I'm talking about his son.
Oh,
I don't think of him as president because was I alive when that guy was president?
It was in the 90s.
91. Yeah, I was a baby. I wasn't.
So you were alive then.
Wasn't. Baby's even really alive.
Oh God!
I love you, MJ.
Don't say that because I feel like those abortionist people are going to come here and be like,
you shouldn't say that.
Fucking whatever. No, it's just
they're stupid.
I'm mixed with so many fucking things that body hair isn't an issue for me. So
you got like Hungarian in there.
Possibly, I need to do one of those 23andMe type things. But
I'm too afraid of giving them my DNA. Word.
They're gonna make a clone of you?
No, just they're like I was talking to somebody about
the army of Justins. That's scary.
I was talking to somebody. I'd kill him. I was talking to somebody about reparations. He knows how serious I am about that. Too. I would kill all of them. He basically they were talking about how like reparations should possibly be giving us a look into like where we come from, like where exactly in Africa, because there's newer tests that can actually do that and tell you like what tribe you were part of and what like area they're from and this and third. And then the only rebuttal was like, do you really want the American government to have access to a database that has every black person's fucking DNA in it? Like, fuck no.
That reminds me of
just give me the money.
Person of interest.
Just give it. Bloomberg's gonna do it. Yeah, Bloomberg. Woo!
And person of interest.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
Never gonna happen.
They were databasing everybody's DNA. In a person of interest. TV show, yeah. They were databasing people's DNA.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were already doing that shit, just making like, fucking, he threw out his trash.
I mean, they kind of already have it dealing with the fact you dealing with doctors, whatnot. Your doctor throughout your entire life.
See, there's laws in place that say that they can't openly do that shit, but they do that because you look at stories like Henrietta Lacks, where they were using her DNA because her DNA was resistant to something or something like that. They were using her DNA for models for antibodies or some shit that they were doing, and they kept cloning her DNA and then using it for trials against stuff. So it's like them stealing her DNA has caused buttloads of like good things to happen, but it's against the fucking law to steal a person's DNA and just use it like that. You can't.
And she didn't get any.
And she also didn't get any recompense for that. Yeah.
Those are the people who are like immune to HIV and whatnot. They're trying to use their.
That's actually why they say why they did it in a person of interest, because basically if they have everyone's DNA, they can figure out who's immune to what, and then they can make antibodies for stuff faster. Yada yada yada. But it's like still though, you kind of like caused a pandemic in order to like get that rolling.
So, person who is immune to cancer, just give up your fucking blood already. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Being selfish.
Selfish.
Sharing is caring.
I think it's weird that I found out that I'm immune to most STDs, though. I found that out because that bitch Tara decided to cheat.
Henrietta Lacks was an African American woman. Just for people who don't know who this is, Henrietta Lacks was an African American woman whose cancer cells are the source of the HeLa cell line, the first immortalized human cell line, and one of the most important cell lines in medical research.
Black history for you, bam!
And they just stole her fucking DNA. Now,
Tuskegee people,
something like that. Well, it's one of those things where it's like one person stole it, but now everyone's using it. It's one of those things that's like, it's almost
becoming
like
ingrained.
It's the thing that they use to test for cancer things. I guess it's like I don't know, but it is very important. And don't get me wrong, it's like human history is going forward in a better way, I guess you could say, because of Henrietta Lacks and them stealing. But you should have asked her. Even if you had just asked her, that would have been better than just fucking stealing it. And I think that's what they did. They might have asked her and she might have said no. I'm not entirely sure about what exactly went down. I know there's a documentary for her family, but yeah. You were talking about somebody. Who's it? Is it Clarissa? She explained it all?
Yeah, she did explain it all.
Was her name Clarissa? Did I get the name right?
No.
Fuck.
I didn't say her actual name.
Oh, Ashley?
No, that bitch Tara.
Tara. It's a dumbass name. Anyway,
Does she know a dude named Slade Wilson?
She know a dude named Garfield Logan?
No, she knows a bitch named Sookie.
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 There it is. Sookie.
Fucking.
True Blood. A good, bad, horrible, good show.
You said True Blood?
Mm-hmm.
I never watched it.
It's...
Isn't that like vampires and shit?
Yeah, it's all of that.
I'd rather just watch Supernatural where they kill all those people.
It's
the way the vampires die in that is pretty interesting though.
Yeah.
Not I killed a vampire, but the after effect of it, I guess.
Very,
what happens?
Very visceral.
Yeah.
Oh, they explode. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So
Like
if you stab it, yeah.
Ooh.
Got some pretty badass characters in there.
Yeah.
Who eat you
And your children.
after we eat your children. Now for the weather, Tiffany. But no, I was saying that I found out that I'm immune to just about all the STDs because someone who I was in a relationship with cheated with a dirty ass motherfucker. That's what you get for cheating. And
yeah, bitch.
She had it, and for damn sure I should have had it, and didn't. And I probably went because I was like, "There's no fucking way." So you guys are wrong, and I will sue you for malpractice.
Your balls are too
I'll
strong.
sue you for malpractice for telling me I'm healthy. How dare you tell me I'm healthy, you son of a bitch!
so I got tested about 4 times. They kept asking why do I think this? It's like because this is a for sure thing.
Because it's cheating, bitch.
This whole situation, and I explained it to them, and then what they did is they ran the test and
run it again.
And that's when they told me that it's like I'm part of that.
You seem to be
1%
resistant
of the world. Now, probably that new strain of gonorrhea that's going around that is permanent. I'm probably not immune to that.
Let's not find out.
Yeah, exactly. Wrap it up, kids.
That there super gonorrhea.
Super G.
Came from Atlanta. The South is
disgusting.
Yes.
What were they fucking?
Is that freak
each
Nick?
other? It's the South and Midwest.
Because
they
the
don't
nastiest
have
thing a person can fuck.
They don't have health.
It's another
class.
person. What?
They don't have health classes down there because religion, and they're going through an epidemic with HIV and AIDS, and all that stuff. So,
my question is, why does religion? Why would you stop someone from learning about what's healthy?
Because it's going to lead to premarital sex.
But what leads to premarital sex is telling people nothing, because at the end of the day, people are disgusting and they're always going to try to have sex.
The best way of keeping away from STDs and everything is to not have sex.
No.
Alright? Abstinence is the way to go.
No, that's terrible. You should
save yourself for marriage.
You should give a person the choice to fucking... Well, we know they don't like choices.
Exactly.
You should give people the choice to either do it or don't, but like, if they're gonna do it, which they are gonna do it eventually, like, arm them with knowledge to make sure that they're not fucking up.
Yeah,
because now we have a bunch of new shit that we shouldn't have, because you dumbass motherfuckers want to sit there and be like, oh, fucking, I want my kid to find out about sex. Find out about sex? Find out, nigga, you can see sex on the TV. They tell you everything that's happening. You think they're not going to learn that from watching? Oh, well, they can't watch TV. Okay, newspaper.
Facebook, MySpace.
Talking to their friends, literally
Instagram.
just flicking their own beans.
It's kind of like the story I got to sell one where they said they were overly sexualizing Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. And they kept saying Santa Claus is asexual. And I was like, that's
Santa Claus
fucking
is not
stupid. Because
He's
he has a wife.
So my question is, okay, alright. So one of the things in the olden days that made your marriage, like, cemented it, and even today I think is possibly like
consummating the marriage.
You have to consummate the marriage. If you don't consummate the marriage, if you have proof that you did not consummate the marriage, you can actually get divorced in a lot of states way quicker than a year.
I think it's 6 months, if I'm remembering correctly.
Something like that. But it's like it's easily a skip to be like, nope, you don't have to do it. You can just get divorced. You have to consummate the marriage. How the fuck is Santa Claus married to his wife if they didn't fuck at least once? They had to fuck at least once. That's what honeymoons are for. Literally, honeymoons are so you go and consummate the marriage. How could you not when you're sitting under the fucking stars and fucking Paris or whatever?
Borealis.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you be there? In the middle of a fucking snowfield and you're just like...
Santa Claus.
Okay, it's too cold. Go back inside.
Oh no, shrinkage.
It's sad. It's funny but sad when it comes down to the South, because then there was someone who went around and says, "Oh, do you know where you could buy condoms?" He was like, "At the doctor's office."
Is it bad that I just imagine like Jake and Yue as Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, and then when the fucking
so would Yue be Santa Claus?
Shrinkage. It's about the only thing on you that's fucking small. I said I'll lose weight later, woman. Damn it! It's like fucking shrinkage.
It's like when a turtle gets frightened.
Do women know about shrinkage? Seinfeld, great show.
Startle a turtle.
Fucking, I was having a conversation with who was it? It wasn't Tiny Hands, somebody else. And it was one of those conversations where like women really don't know what we have to deal with sometimes. Like they just think we just exist, and we're just like,
it's the same thing for men.
No, yeah, I know. I know that's a thing. Obviously, like all men know they don't know enough about women because there's a buttload of extra other shit. They might not be willing to admit it, or they might be really stupid and not understand it. But like, yeah, but like when it comes to like. They like to make it seem like they understand us like a lot, and a lot of times they really don't. Just like simple mindset shit, and you're just like why do guys like when they sit down they like adjust themselves around? I'm like, so you're not sitting on your balls? They're like, oh, you can sit on your balls? It's like, or they're outside of me.
Or man spreading, which I still think is very stupid that whole thing started in fucking Russia. Good God.
What, that like they don't understand why man spreading?
Oh, you talking about the lady with the water?
Yeah. She is a woman who would take bunches of bottles of water that had bleach in it.
Oh, was it bleach? I thought it was just water.
No, it was
Oh, see, I thought it was just water.
It was mixed. So she would ruin the pants.
Oh, see, because I heard about it, and I was like, that's how you get slapped.
If it was water and bleach.
That's one thing. If it's bleach, I'll see you in court. Because that is a chemical attack.
Mm-hmm. And she will pour it on their laps if she feels that they are man spreading. And she has a lot of them recorded, and most of the time she's they'll look at her like, what are you doing? And it may be a crowded train that she's doing this on, but she's also done it with people where there's no one around and the guy's just sitting there comfortably and will do this. Like, there's no one, because you're doing this and restricting other people being able to sit down. One, when it comes to bigger guys like you and myself, that's just going to happen because we have thunder thighs, and it's going to be highly uncomfortable and it's going to cause pain. There are other guys who possibly have massive sized balls and they just need the space.
Talk about my thighs like that. Fucking asshole. Fuck out of here.
What are you talking about?
You fuck up anyway.
You realize thunder thighs is dealing with muscular, right?
I'm trying not to cry. No, I'm kidding. That shit is the people who ride for their shit even when it's like unnecessary, it's like, bro, who hurt you?
But she almost got caught.
Almost.
Because the dude, she caught one dude that wasn't having that, and she poured it, and he got up and was like, And
in Mother Russia, I smack you.
And people came to her aid and whatnot, and then that's like when it kind of came out. They felt like, yeah, this thing is water and bleach that's in there. It's not hot water because that's really going to fuck up someone's life. But it's still, like you were saying,
it's a chemical attack, which counts as assault and battery.
It should not be happening whatsoever.
Or at the very least, assault. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Assault. What makes it battery too? I forgot. That's when you actually hit someone. Because assault can just be like fucking yelling at a person or the second, third, but like battery.
Well, you have verbal assault.
Yeah.
Which, I mean.
But assault and battery is like you actually hit the person. Or like cause some kind of damage or some shit.
I remember there was a road rage thing like that where a dude was yelling at this lady because she was trying to like pull out of a parking spot. And then he stepped to this lady, and then this black dude stepped in between them and was like, yo, you need to calm down. And then he was yelling at the black dude, and the black dude had like a pistol, and the black dude like pulled his jacket to the side and was like, yo, you need to calm down. And then the guy hit the black dude pulled his pistol out and pistol whipped him. And he was like, oh, you hit me. Oh, that's assault. And it was like, you hit me first. I'm defending myself.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how
he was physically provoked at that point.
Yep.
And at that point, anything can happen. And that's why you always heard me say, I will never throw the first punch in any fight. I will, depending on the person, I will allow myself to get hit.
Sometimes you just gotta handle stuff, don't you?
What if Michael J. White gets at you in the fucking parking lot? Like,
if
you stepped on my dog.
If goddamn dogs. Like,
I didn't see it. It looked like a seal.
Bruh, if Michael J. White and I ever squared off with each other, I'm going to immediately be like, listen, I'm about to get my ass whooped, and I know this. But I'm gonna have a smile on my fucking face. I would want to see me.
I would look into the sky and see the sky parting like fucking Shanks and Whitebeard. I would just be like, oh shit, Joe's fighting someone.
I would love to see how I would fare against Michael J. White. In all honesty, it would.
It's good to test your limits.
That would be like the epitome of my entire life.
Should I dial 911 and then just wait?
No, you should dial 911 because they need to be on their way for them to save me. Because I'm going to get killed.
911, somebody about to get murdered.
Someone please call 911.
Michael J has fucked me up, and I can't feel my butt. That is piercing through my soul.
Oh my gosh.
Blood in my nose.
Because I think when you think I was watching that video with guy talking about, oh, Michael J. White shouldn't talk to fighters and whatnot because he's not an actual fighter. He's never been in a fight in his life. He's just a martial artist. I was like, he's just a martial artist. Yeah, you are so fucking stupid. You did the research to find out what all he knows, and to find out that he has over 8 black belts, and they're all like high ranking standings for these black belts. But you don't know the fact that he used to be a runner for fucking with all the gangs and everything, and no one wanted to actually fight him, where they all brought guns, and he was still winning these fights, even though he has like I have these hands.
Because a gun is ineffective at close range.
Literally what he kept saying every time. Like, yeah, they can have the gun all they want. I'm up on them. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Try to point it at me and I'm going to break their hand.
Like,
and then break the arm. And then break the elbow. And then break the shoulder. And then stomp the groin.
All because of Matt Perry. Which, if your last name is Perry and you don't have a doctor...
Pear.
Exactly. If it's not Perry Cox, I don't want to hear shit from you.
Perry.
Pear.
Listen, Pear. I love the look on his face every time someone said that to him. He's just like, you're going to die after that.
Like, you're seriously going to back up this dude who's white and keeps calling people niggas and whatnot. And it's like, okay. For one, he's going to get his ass whooped. He's openly said, whenever you want to get into the octagon, let me know. It's not that hard. And nothing. All he does is just talk shit.
The funny thing is, like,
he's scared.
Dana White would love to do that. So he's like, well, he can't do that because this, that, and third. Well, Dana White's just like, go ahead.
Dana White wouldn't do that.
You think he wouldn't let Michael Jordan? No, yeah, because he'd be losing money.
Exactly.
That guy got killed.
Perry, Matthew Perry is a good fighter for him. So he's going to put him up against like Munchkins and shit like that. And that's one thing that everyone, I swear, people think I'm wrong about that stuff. But if you look at a lot of people that Anderson Silva or Rampage Jackson, even with DC Cormier, John Jones, it's like John Jones went through a lot of killers, and he was like the only one I could ever say he really didn't have an easy way going through that. Up until I would say this past one, because fight was like but he basically threw him in there with everyone else thinking he was going to be the cakewalk. I guarantee that's how that all went down. And then he upset everybody.
Got fucked up.
Not realizing the fact that, John Jones is the real deal when it comes to this stuff. But, unfortunately, his age is getting to him. He's realizing the fact that he's not immortal.
Word?
And
since when?
Right? And it's like, and that fight, this fight proved that one.
Ramirez?
Yeah. That one, that proved that.
Ramirez tagged him a couple times, and I thought he was just gonna, you know what I mean? You know, there's always that hit where you're like, oh, that person's gonna start falling apart after that hit, and I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't.
John is really John can take a beating.
Remember that uppercut?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, isn't John Jones the one who has like two brothers who are like bigger than him who used to beat him up or something like that? Or is it somebody else?
John Jones is the one that's from here.
Okay, there's some UFC fighter who has like two brothers that are in the NFL and they be like beating him up.
Oh no, that's not.
Okay, that's not John Jones. No. There's somebody who's like, he's big. His brothers are bigger and they beat him up. That's why he's like so tanky. He can take a beat because he getting beat up by football players.
I don't know. I have to look in for that one.
Yeah,
but John, he's just really tanky. He could take a hit. He could take hits and just keep going. And the fight with him and Alexander Gustafsson completely showed that one. And one with DC Cormier, because that's a phenomenal fighter right there.
He's got stamina.
But the one thing that proves my point is with DC Cormier and Brock Lesnar. These two have been going at each other's fucking throats since they were wrestling for the Olympics and shit like that. There's a long history of them sizing each other up, and then you have an opportunity for them to fight, and you won't do it. Why?
Cause bitch.
Why do that and make one of probably going to retire after that fact when I can just have them fight these little peons
forever,
and I can get more money that way.
Watch Brock Lesnar crush this fucking monster truck like a soda can. Come on, do it.
And that's why someone like Fedor, well, I have to give Coach credit for putting me on to him. He always took uphill battles and just.
There was this one fight where Fedor fought this big dude, this big Asian dude. He was mad big. He make Joe look small big. This big Asian dude.
What's the fuck is his
name? Mad. He had blonde hair in that.
Who is a pop star? Weirdly
mad
enough.
big.
He was a
He's
pop
mad
star.
big.
I didn't know that. Like, I just recently found that out.
Imagine gangster Asian with blonde hair. He's a pop star apparently.
Kim Jong-kook.
He's like, he's.
I'm just thinking of Kim Jong-kook.
He's mad. He's a big dude. I have to find out the video. He was a big dude.
I showed you one of Fedor's things that had that, and there was one of the highlights with that.
Yeah.
That was a big dude.
Did you ever rewatch that thing that you had me watching on the Chinese dude who remember the whole like he keeps beating up masters and stuff like that? And China is doing a bunch of fuck shit, like making him paint his face in like the clown paint and everything, or was that the clown paint, or they make him paint his face in some bullshit, huh?
Is he Koetsuji?
Something like that. He fucking he just fucks up. He's an MMA fighter. He just fucks up masters and shit like that. Who are like, my style, this, that, and third. He wouldn't be able to deal with me, or this, that, and third. And then he like fucks them up.
No.
Yeah, that entire thing was sad. I was like, God damn. Oh, yeah. I remember you showed me that guy. Mm-hmm. Bruh, we were watching when we were at the gym, they were doing repeats of that one fight with the guy with the chicken legs.
Oh.
I was like, God
Tyson
damn.
Fury.
I can't look at his legs. It's so weird. He looks like that dude from Fishman Island. Remember the guy who came with Peakums?
Yeah.
The dude, the egg dude? Fucking weird. He got a big upper body and like tiny little fucking legs.
Yeah, with the Tyson Fury fight, it was him. It's
Kabiyama.
Boxers because they're long. So weird because their upper bodies are just built.
Yeah, because that's all you have to care
about. Well, no, because their power comes from their legs, and it's like, and they're all chicken leg. The only one really that isn't like that, Muhammad Ali, Tyson,
Frazier.
Foreman, but Foreman was just a big motherfucker.
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray wasn't that built though.
That's true.
He's slim. His body matched completely though. But this is like for heavyweights.
For the heavyweights.
For heavyweights, I should probably just say for heavyweights that are very much really top heavy, and it looks like if you on their knee, they're just gonna.
Sweep the leg. No, his legs are gone now.
So basically, they're all Balrog. All they have is just upper body, no lower body, anything.
They're like One Piece characters.
Actually, Joe, have you ever watched
certain ones?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched? I feel like I asked you this before, but what is it called? Boxing anime with Mugen as the main character.
Ippo?
No, the metal enhancements. What is it called? Megalobox.
You said who is the main character?
Mugen. He looks like Mugen a little bit. I think you like it.
Yeah,
I want to say Ippo. I definitely watch.
Yeah,
I want to get into the sumo one. I want to watch.
Oh yeah, that one. I remember I sent that one to Justin because he was talking about wrestling anime, and that was the only one I could find that wasn't Ultimate Muscle.
I want a wrestling anime that's over the top and stupid, like Inazuma 11. With like light streams coming out of their fucking arms when they jump up and stuff like that, and the fucking
muscle
shit and this and third, and like energy attacks bullshit. Only more serious.
Didn't Saint Seiya have like a moment or like a season where they just did fights in the ring and shit like that?
That I wouldn't. I'm not sure of, because there's like different seasons of Saint Seiya, and I don't know how they interact with each other. I've never watched any one season all the way through. They also have Knights of the Zodiac.
I watched it.
Those are two different things, or are they the same thing?
I think they're different.
Yeah,
but they're like really close.
And then there's like Ronin Warriors.
I think Ronin Warriors and Zodiac might be the same thing.
Okay.
I think all those were things that I watched when I thought
they're all just Toku things, kind of, without helmets and shit.
Yeah. So Saint Seiya, they get really beefy because they have like cloth armor, iron armor, copper armor, black armor, gold armor, god armor. It gets stupid. They get like way up there. And then Hades has an armor, and Hades is mad. There's this Rose dude who is mad nasty. And Saint Seiya, I think the Lost Canvas, because he can put roses into you, and the roses are white, and then when they suck the blood out of you, they turn red. it's just a cool attack. It's just
like what
mad
Kurama
cool.
does kind of with that plant thing. You put it in Roto. Yeah.
That is a broken power to have right there. Honestly, that's kind of, even would Toguro be able to outlast that? Because you can suppress it with your energy, but at a certain point, it's like a continuous thing.
His biggest thing is that he puts it in people without them even knowing. So the worst thing is you don't know until like it doesn't start to bloom or do anything until like it's ready, and then you're done. So
no, wait,
because Karasu was able to pull it out.
I'm wrong.
Toguro would probably be able to pull it out.
Isn't it the more power you use, the quicker it goes?
What?
For the seed. I think I was wrong on that one. The more power you use is the more it absorbs and right?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Too bad you can't ask someone who's supposed to be watching it if they know what's happening.
That's why I was so frustrated last week, because you were like, if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. I'm like, no, he fucking likes it. He just won't watch it. It's like a little kid who's sitting there like, fucking, I made your favorite dinner, just fucking eating, like, fucking eat!
See, then I agree with you on that one. That's a little excessive. You should just watch it. If you like it,
that's why I stopped watching Game of Thrones out of spite. And I will say this, and this will be the last time I say this. It will be. It will be. New Girl picks up in season 2. A show like that, and I wasn't on board. I wasn't entirely on board with it either. Like the episodes I hate the most are in the first season. After the second season is when it starts like, okay, the running gags start in, and you start all this crazy shit that you're like, all right, this is funny. This is good.
I feel like this is about to be another Game of Thrones thing where I'm still going to hate it at the end of it. And me watching it made me hate Game of Thrones more.
That's why you should have stopped watching it like fucking
I
saw the bullshit.
Because Jeremy really wanted me to get through it, and he wanted to talk to me about it. And it's like, I understand the want to have to be able to talk with someone about something. So yeah. I was going to bite that bullet for him.
Yeah.
It was it's a trash show.
I mean, the second I saw brother and sister fucking, I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. That I saw that years ago, the first episode, because we watched it with. It was when Game of Thrones first came on. I remember when it first came on. I was in my 3rd year in college, I think, and everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch together." This out there, we're like, fucking whatever. I watched dude beat his sister's cheeks, and I was just like,
Then he crippled the kid.
It's not for me. And he fucked that kid up, pushed him out a window. I'm like, nah.
It's like, I'm gonna beat cheeks and cripple people at the same time.
I'm good.
But see, for me,
let's just make another one.
For me, it was the whole. I have a thing, or of course, with me with fanship, I have a thing with excessive nudity in shows. I don't really care for it. And
so did it have too much nudity?
Yeah.
See, my thing is
entirely too much nudity.
You know my thing though. I need to find the right show that has like it has to balance. Be like it's literally half porn and half actual show, because porn is not. The acting's not good enough, and in TV shows, the porn is not good enough. There's no like actual fucking.
Actually,
I want like Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Climb up into my room and beat my cheeks.
So, did you like Nymphomaniacs?
I've never seen that. I don't know what that is.
It's a movie.
Nymphomaniacs?
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf was in it.
It's just like Backdoor Sluts 9. Is that number to it? Is that number to it?
Basically, take 50 Shades of Grey and the girl with the dragon tattoo, but with sex only, and make that into a movie. It's a French film.
And it's like actual like
yes.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually having sex.
What is this called?
Nymphomaniac.
Nymphomaniac?
Funny enough, it was shown at the theater.
Why didn't you invite me?
Because this was before we met and before I started working there.
Oh, you know what I didn't know?
This motherfucker act like he didn't know me for years.
Lakeith was in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Try to know people harder, Joe. Jesus.
I mean, I can try that, but then it gets very sexual at that point. Exactly. Oh,
you don't want to explore yourself?
Yeah, that's how you feel. I'm that fucking repulsive to you.
Nah.
Wow.
You know what it is, Joe? Your boobs not big enough.
I don't like your dumb glasses. No. That's the only. That's the only. Nah, fucking. I'm a bear, but not that kind of bear.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do that.
No more locked doors.
I know.
Yes.
I can't do that. No, someone's gonna come from Albany to whoop my ass now because I'm not moving in on your territory. All right.
You're come from Albany. Who the fuck is gonna come from Albany?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You're from Jersey.
You shut your fucking mouth. Well, I was just thinking earlier today while I was at the gas station because I saw someone from New Jersey and I was just like,
"Sorry, reminiscent.
Get the fuck out of my state! What are you even doing here? And you parked the wrong way in the gas station, you dumbass! Fucking yeah, you're not getting anybody to pump your gas here, bitch. Pump your own goddamn gas." Actually, do they do that in Jersey? I don't.
Yeah, they're not allowed to pump.
They have like attendants and shit.
But no, your friend, Winter Soldier, or your brother rather.
Yeah, my brother. Kids are my nephews.
So I can't overstep my. Need know where I stand with areas.
He is too. What the fuck? He's a brother. You can have a lot of brothers.
Yeah, but see, he won't attack you.
You don't know that.
I don't know.
Look at that smile. You don't know that. Carl could attack you Carl could attack anyone for any minute for any reason. You don't know.
No, I know that.
Stole my fucking lollipop in 10th grade, bitch.
But I know he won't attack me for that.
For what?
If I were to like overstep where he feel like, no, I'm supposed to be numero uno or numero dos rather. Like this is my area. You stay in your area.
I've never actually ranked the two of them
because you won't let them meet.
They're both at number one. I won't let them meet.
What happens with negative energy?
I'm trying to get this motherfucker to go back home with me to meet the family and friends and all this other shit that he's been talking to over the phone for all these years. This motherfucker never has a chance.
I swear you said you would never let them two meet because the bullshit that was going to go on.
You said you had to stab somebody or something like that. Like I'm be taking too much heat, somebody gonna get hurt.
My mom just sent me a winky face. She knows I'm in distress.
Why don't you invite him up here for the barbecue then?
Yeah. He's always got kids.
Yeah.
He's always got kids.
So? Are you that much of a homophobe that you think that?
Yeah.
Steven...
Are we gonna talk about this shit? We're not. We're fucking homophobe is the worst fucking word. I'm not afraid of you. I just hate you. No, no, deadass though. Like I will move out. I don't hate. Okay, let me preface this as a fucking joke. I don't hate gay people, but like, why do you call people? Because not everybody's afraid of them. Some people just hate them. Like we don't call black like people who are racist towards us and like don't like black people. They're like fucking melaninophobes. They're afraid of melanin. It's like some of them are. I mean, yeah. You'd be afraid of melanin too if it went in your wife like that. But I understand it sometimes with us because there is actually a fear because fucking black people, they're fucking like they feed into the bullshit that they hear about us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but that's the same thing with racism.
I've never heard that with gay people though. What is the fear with gay people? That they'll just make you gay by coughing on you or something?
So where this mainly is going to come down into play is dealing with the fact it's with black people, or really just people of color. I'd just rather say it, people of color, because there is a correlation with the acts of homosexuality and fear because of what was it called, buck breaking.
I'm sorry, what?
It's when the slave owners in like the Caribbean would take the male of the family, the black male of the family, and would basically rape them in front of everybody to emasculate them. I think it's called buck raking or something like that, or buck breaking.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what. I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah,
I thought it was just rape.
I mean, that's what it is, but that's what the term of it is. Yeah. And that's where a lot of the fears for people of color alone is like that. And you also deal with the fact that you have a lot of people who are molested by male members because that mindset unfortunately got transferred down through generations.
There's also a lot of men, because of the fact that a lot of black women tend to not fuck with any kind of like, so like there's an over compensation when it's like, yo, fuck you, nigga, that's gay. It's like, I'm not gay. What the fuck you talking about? I'm not gay. Like, because like any association with that means like no women.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'm not gonna, like, oh, it spreads that this guy's like, oh, he did some suspect shit, or oh, he's gay, and then it's like,
it is, and that's where the whole like,
I don't mean to
masculinity stuff comes in.
Obviously, not all black women are like that, but there are enough of them that are, that it's like,
well, there's a lot of them that the fact that you can kind of call that a truth. Even with me being just nerdy the way I am, most black women don't want anything to deal with me. Purely for the fact that, you know, I like to watch anime and I play games and shit like that. Not all of them are like that, but it happens so much to where they've made 6-7 movies with that. Yeah. Dealing with the fact that you have a nerdy guy, I think Lupe Fiasco actually started one of them. Dealing with the fact that you have someone who's a nerdy guy and he's black and he wants to date other black women, but the black women don't want him because of him being that way, and they see it as very effeminate and
or childish.
Yeah, and he will only date white women, but whenever he goes out and has a white woman on his arm, he sees the black women
and then they talk shit.
Exactly, and then he will try to go, and
I was actually thinking about
circle.
that the other day because I don't know, I just saw this Asian chick who I was like looking particularly good, and I was like just running through scenarios in my head of like, if I brought home an Asian chick, like what would that be like? How would my family would, I mean, outwardly would be nice to her because my family, they're not assholes, but at the same time, you know there are some, well, yeah, you know there are some who would be sitting there like, I'm like, we didn't look at my uncle when he brought Irish chick home.
You know what's gonna happen? Winter Soldier brother gonna be like, JJ trying to be like me. I see.
Yeah.
Well, I've with my cousin Cameron and Hannah, because Hannah's white, given the name.
Hannah's white?
What?
Oh my stars! I had no idea.
But they started getting into this very much the bad side of Afro or being was it OTEP or whatever the fuck they're calling it now.
What?
OTEP or whatever.
Hotep?
Imhotep?
I don't know what
You're
it
talking
is.
about like Hotep niggas?
Yeah, where they're very much black power,
Afrocentric.
Yeah.
And, well, they're the aggressive form of Afrocentric. Where they're like, yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
So what is it?
I think it's like a Hotep nigga.
Okay, well then Hotep. I've always heard someone say like O, not with the H, so that's probably why I'm saying like that. But I'm very stupid, so that's a good point. But they will get into these full-on conversations talking about how it's really sad to see all these black men going for white women, and they need to set more presence for their children.
Pretty much just sound like Dr. Umar Johnson or some shit.
Because they like idolize him. And my godmom was telling me that I should really look into and listen to the stuff that he's saying and whatnot.
Some of his stuff is good, some of it's not.
He's very cherry picky.
Yeah, like I get why he's saying the things he's saying, and I understand what he like where he's coming from, but it's also a thing of like, bro, I understand we have to heal us too, but like we're also moving towards a thing where like people are actively not seeing race anymore. Like they're trying not to. Mm-hmm. Like unfortunately, it's a thing where I feel bad for some of the white people that live in this country because it's like they're actually trying to not, like they actually don't see it anymore. But it's one of those things where it's like there's still problems and there's still things that you can't just ignore, and this like you can ignore it because it doesn't affect you, but like when I'm going through it, you can't just like why are you always talking about race, man? Or why are you always doing this, that, and the third? It's like, because it affects me every fucking day, and I have to fucking deal with that shit. But like, and it sucks because it causes animosity between us, where it's like the white people who aren't actually doing anything, they're looking at us like, why are you, you know what I mean? And then and sometimes it ends up turning them to the other side where they're like, yeah, black people are always fucking complaining about some shit, this, that, third, blah, blah, whatever. And I'm sitting there like, it's just tiresome to think about all the shit, you know? I don't know. That's just what I think.
I mean, it is definitely hard, especially like you're saying, you have the ones who aren't trying to do that. But like when Greta was trying, when I told you you had this group of girls that came in there, to me they look mixed, more Middle Eastern than anything.
Ooh, what Greta do?
But they were taking pictures inside of the theater, and others, and she came and was like, "Can I help you or whatever?" And then all three of them like, "What? She's in a photography class. She has." And they're jumping down her throat purely because he had three, I guess, black or whatever, but they didn't really look at me honestly. They looked more, like I said, more Middle Eastern or anything. But they're jumping down her throat because it is a white woman asking her what's going down because she's taking pictures inside of a place of business that she has to ask permission for.
It's not a big deal, even though it's like, okay, but like if you had a coffee shop and I don't know, brought a horse in there, just like sat the horse down in the middle of the room and just started like, you just start taking shit on the floor. It's like, yeah, that's obviously one is more extreme, but it's like they're both things that are not allowed and you need to ask about.
Yeah.
You don't just do shit.
You just can't, exactly. You wouldn't want someone to come up in your house and just start, you just start
moving shit. Nah, I don't like that speaker over there. Put it in this corner.
So you wouldn't want that. So why are you going to someone else's house and acting a damn fool, basically?
Yeah.
But I do chastise people for doing that stuff. It's like, you shouldn't do it. Because it's not fair whatsoever. But
yeah,
I also do that exact same thing when it comes down to homophobia. I've seen at the transit center, I've seen like a lot of people who will pick on someone who's trans or in the middle of transitioning, and it's kind of obvious that they're going through that because they haven't gotten to the point to where they can really resemble either being fully male or fully female. And there was one who I think they're more so just androgynous, and it just relentlessly to the point that they're crying. And I got pissed. The security people really weren't doing anything. I just I berated the fuck out of them.
Or anything like that. Yeah, the security's not gonna do anything.
Like I just berated the fuck out until they just left. And it's upsetting to see stuff like that, and unfortunately the most I can do is just stand up for them and try to console them, which I really couldn't do because the most I can do is give them a hug and it's like, I'm sorry, I have to go to work now.
My bus though. I know you're going through it right now, but
that reminds me of different situation, similar scenario. Remember when when you guys were living in the other house, remember what was her name? Your other roommate. She was like waiting for the bus, and someone like threw a bag of like a water balloon at her or something.
Yes.
It is so long ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name.
Yeah, it's Jasper now.
Yeah. But I remember when that happened, you guys were livid. See, I heard about it. I don't know the specifics. I just heard about it.
Yeah, shit's no joke.
And they wrote deep that day. It was
Maybe I get a little too overboard with it because I've dealt with a lot of abuse and stuff like that as a child, and I can't stand seeing it happening to anybody. I will admit, I think I go overboard with it, and I try to catch myself because I'm quick to yank someone up if it's like for what was going on. Like at the transit center, there was like 5 of them. I was ready to just knock them all out. Because I'm in all of their faces at this point. Wishing someone would just throw a punch.
Can't beat up the kids, Joe. Even if they're stupid.
Self-defense.
They were going to learn a lesson if one of them actually had done anything.
I'm gonna put the fear of
but,
Joe in you.
You know, it's a double-edged sword because then at the same point, it's like, all right, I know I can handle myself, but I don't know what they're doing. One of them could have had a fucking gun, and while my back was turned, dealing with that. You know, violence begets violence, and the best way to do it is just neutralize the whole situation. And I do try to come at things more so with a calmer mind with stuff like that, but it's still, yeah, I'm gonna say everyone has those triggers, and for me, my biggest trigger is people being mistreated. I don't like it. If I ever get anywhere near close to it, or if I feel that I have mistreated somebody, I'm in a state of depression for like the next 2 months dealing with the fact that I felt that I just did that to somebody. Which is why I'm extremely courteous to anyone that's dealing with waitresses, waiters, bus drivers. I'm, hello sir, thank you sir, hello ma'am, thank you ma'am. If I felt that I
call people sir, ma'am, because enough people tell me to stop doing it, then I'm like, okay.
That's because when you do it, it's not sincere. I just play.
Ma'am, the fuck you say it like that? you know why?
I've trying to make sure that I'm trying to put forth a lot of respect out there. So hopefully it gets returned a lot of times.
At the end of the day, that's all it's really about.
Yeah, just give respect. Everybody wants respect, but you have to give it.
Or earn it.
But that's the best way to earn it. If you're off the get-go, I don't even give a damn if someone is racist. Like, yeah, you're racist. I don't give a fuck as long as you ain't doing some fuck shit with me or anything around me. We can be fine.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Made friends with skinheads before. It's interesting. It's weird. But
Steven, you know.
Actually, you just reminded me. There was a movie. What was the guy's name? You know the dude. He was in Lost. Big black dude. He was also in Born. He was the diplomat that he was supposed to assassinate on the yacht with his kids. I can't think of his name.
I never saw Identity.
I'm trying to think what else he's been in. Oh, he was heavy duty in G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think it was a movie that he made about his childhood. I think he used to be a skinhead or something like that.
The fuck?
Yeah.
How could he be a skinhead?
Cause it was one don't quote me on this because I could be misremembering, but I think it was he was African obviously, and then he got sent somewhere to be in school or whatever, and he was different from everybody else because it was a white family he was living with, so he basically got in with the skinheads.
Very weird.
I think it was him. I can't be 100% sure. I think it was him.
I'm not really surprised though, because where I was kind of hanging out with people who weren't necessarily skinheads, but they were definitely racist.
Now don't quote me on that, anybody. My memory is crap. Y'all should know this by now. Y'all been listening to the podcast, but I think it was him, and I can't remember the actor's name.
Well, it's
I have to look and I'll double check with you guys.
Actors have actually had some racist tendencies, or they felt a certain way that was proved that they will say yep, I was wrong for being that way, and I respect it. You know, if you can admit the fact that you were wrong in thinking that, I respect you even more as a person.
Word, exactly.
No.
I am not even gonna try to say that fucking name.
Ooh,
oh, you
do it. Do it.
You
Yeah.
found him?
Yeah, do it.
Adewale Akinoye Agbaje. The dude who played heavy duty in G.I. Joe.
You didn't use enough lemon.
He's a British actor and director.
I'm not speaking Hebrew, so I don't know why the fuck I would.
Farming. The movie's called Farming.
L'chaim. I don't know what that means. Laheim. I forgot. I don't know what that means.
Circumcision. I don't know.
Yeah, but Scott Fireman came out 2018. That's the name of the movie.
To start being a thing.
I was watching a thing where this dude, he's Jewish and his wife is like Middle Eastern.
I know what you're.
It's funny because she's like, so when she got pregnant, he's like, I could only really describe her as somewhat racist when she's pregnant, and she's just flashback. Like, get your Ashkenazi ass in here, and this time I was like, God damn. Oh shit! She was just going through all of it. I was like, and she's pregnant with his child. And she's sitting there from the fucking bedroom yelling all this shit at him. He's sitting there like, I love you, honey. It's fucking like, God damn.
Is this Ramesh and his wife? Is that what this basically is?
Fucking.
That was hilarious. I need to start watching that show. That was fucking hilarious.
Would you know what show that one's from? It's from New Girl.
See, told you.
It's from New Girl.
Didn't even.
I didn't say to watch it. I'm just saying it's from something.
See, I knew at one point.
No, I didn't say to watch it. See, all those other times was me telling you to watch it. This time I was just saying a thing, which again proves that Joe hears all these things and he starts laughing and doesn't know what it's from. And then I tell him it's New Girl. Ah!
I was still laughing at it, and I said, "Oh, there it is."
Because secretly he likes it. He just doesn't know he likes it.
Free real estate.
Free real estate.
Wow, you really don't know anything, do you?
I don't know nothing.
Good God, man.
Not at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know nothing.
At least he's not getting laughing weird. When he gets tired, just laughs at everything.
That's like really tired. That takes a lot.
All it takes is someone to go pick up a doll, and then he's.
Oh my God!
So that's one thing that happened within this past week.
Is the dumbest motherfucker.
We started cursing straw.
God. So there's a fucking. We think there's a monster in the house. Whatever the center. We find Jake finds a doll house that has a doll in it. He goes to touch it and look at it and stuff, and then ghosts pop out. Right. This motherfucker, like, gets downed instantly. I yell to everybody, like, oh shit, stuff's happening. This motherfucker, we managed to, like, get him out. And then this dumb motherfucker runs back into the room, all the way past the ghost, away from, like he, in his next turn, even if he was still alive, I don't know if he would have been able to make it all the way back out of that room. Because how far he ran in past the monster, to the fucking doll, thinking like, oh, the doll might be able to, like, if I give the kid the doll, because the ghosts were kids, if I give him his doll, maybe they'll go away or whatever. And it's just like, no. He's so stupid.
I mean, in some scenarios, that could have worked.
This is not one of those
scenarios. Yeah, I know.
This is the subversion of that stupid ass trope where it's like, no, you're gonna get killed. We actually had to run back in and save him. It was fucking stupid. It
had experience points though.
It was so bad. I better get experience points for that. I'm the whole reason everybody ran back in there. Everybody was ready to fucking leave. Shit was fucking ridiculous.
Did you guys have a necromancer?
No.
I was about to say somebody could have just brought him back as a what's the name?
What would necromancer be under? Is that sorcerer or wizard?
It's a subclass of sorcerer, but wizards can also have some necromancy spells as well. I think it's just both of them really. I think it's more sort of a sorcerer thing because sorcerers are more evil than what wizards really are, but essentially wizards and sorcerers.
I thought wizards were the evil ones. I thought sorcerers were just the ones that they inherit magic from magic parents or something like that. I thought wizards were the one that had to make pacts with shit or something. I don't know. I gotta watch what's his name, Joe Cat stuff again. It's pretty funny.
But yeah, it was. They just kind of went through things. Very we're ignoring everything else that we could possibly go through that might help us with information. and they split the party.
Oh, he never split the party.
I was trying so hard to get them to stop and like regroup. I even put a non-existent door that shouldn't have been there at all.
That shit was great. And Rory just busted it open. He's just like, boom! It's mad stupid because everybody in the house should have heard that. You would think everybody would come running up, and then the people on the first floor were just sitting there. Like, they were literally just sitting there the whole time twiddling their thumbs. They weren't doing anything. They looked on the wall and saw a sword.
And then it was great that they went into the library and they got that letter.
Yep.
And that hopefully they remember the seal. But no one brought the letter up, so until they talk about the letter, no one's going to
progress.
But, you know,
I was afraid to say his name, though, because he signed it at the bottom, strawed, and I was like, I'm not saying that shit. This motherfucker, like, because I already know he can, like, hear us or whatever. He's, like, aware of everything that's happening in that world or whatever. I'm like, I'm not saying his fucking name.
Voldemort.
I want to live.
Yeah, but there is someone else that you're going to have to talk to that you guys aren't really going to like.
Just be happy Joe's not like Steve. Because Steve would be like, hey, CJ, I got an idea for a campaign, but this is what I need you to do. I need you to kill everyone else. That was going to be our next campaign.
Kill them all, Peter.
The one after what we were doing, when he was asking us about classes, and I was asking him if I could be be like a summoner. He was like, no. And I was like, I'll go monk then. Yeah, he wanted me to kill all y'all. He was like, CJ, their goal is to do this. Your goal is to make sure they don't.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he wanted me to kill all y'all.
That's what I chose to be. I'm a monk.
Steve likes Steve. He's an interesting DM, but he loves to fuck with players.
That's why when I imagine him as Strahd.
And I was telling Jeremy like everything that's in there, and well, I guess I can't go into that.
He's gonna be our NPCs or whatever as he texted us.
Yeah, because he was going to actually be in there, but then he got kind of mad when I told everyone that they have to be human because he wanted to be ASMR or whatever, and I was like, well, it kind of calls for everyone to be human. I can bend on this for like certain things. And then
like
Rory,
JT wanted to be a dragonborn.
Like he wanted to be a dragonborn for like the longest time, and I was like, I kind of just shat on your dreams with this because you really want to use this character. It's like, fine, just you can use him. I just let it be. And then Rory was asking about being a
centaur.
No, I think he's a
minotaur.
Minotaur.
Like a dwarf or a halfling or something like
Didn't
that.
he say gnome?
Frodo?
No, he said dwarf.
Or Gimli.
Because he's already a tiny old man. He just wants to
might be in. No, I think it's dwarf. Like dwarf or gnome, it might be dwarf because him talking dwarf is to the keep.
Yeah. But isn't like when it comes to gnomes and don't they all speak Dwarvish, just like different dialects of Dwarvish? So I was looking at the language chart and I thought it said Dwarvish for like overall thing, and then it said different dialect. I thought, I don't know, that could just be me being stupid. D&D is confusing, but it's fun until we get killed.
It could be very fun, yeah. like what happened to Rory at Adventure League. Oh God,
he died.
Yep, that was sad. I almost died too. Die from the crab.
There's a cream for that.
Damn, son. So, 2 more things before we leave. Actually, 3 more things.
Yeah, there's something I had to bring up.
So then 4 more things. So, Hidden Figures, the movie that Hidden Figures is based on, Katherine Johnson, she died at 101.
Yep.
101. Which people were saying was kind of funny because they said she died in her prime. Because 101's a prime number.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
That would now, honestly though, as a mathematician, she would think that was funny.
I was like, I'm mad that I'm laughing at this, but at the same time,
kudos
to you for getting that joke.
Yeah.
And I'm glad at the fact that I'm somewhat smart enough to catch that immediately.
Apparently, Avatar 2's release date is December 17th, so I don't know what you guys are doing, but I might go see that. Maybe.
Yeah, I want to see that new Star Wars that might come out in December.
Probably not. There's probably not going to be another Star Wars for a while. Or they might be stupid and make another one. But yeah, people are worried about how it's going to do because of all the hype. You know, it's like one of the highest grossing movies. It's on third. So they're worried like if it's going to live up to it. And also they've already gotten like a 5 or 6 deal movie deal or some shit like that. So they're already shooting into the fucking stands going like, yeah, fucking Avatar 3, Avatar 4, Avatar 5. We know when they're going to come out. And I'm like...
Because, I mean, they already had a 5-movie deal like a year after the first movie came out.
Cameron was waiting for...
Or maybe 2 years after.
I think he said he was waiting for technology to get to the point where they can do the CG underwater or something.
Yeah, because I remember I was looking up something.
Stupid.
I was looking up an actor because I was trying to remember the name of a movie, and I ended up going into Zoe Saldana's stuff, and it showed like Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm like,
yeah.
But they made the first one like a year or two ago. They already got 5 set up. That's how I knew about it, because that's also how I found out that she was in some other stuff, and I was like, what?
8 fucking years. It's like,
yeah.
God damn.
That's the only reason I know is because I went into her IMDb because I was looking at movies. I think I was trying to look up Colombiana.
Colombiana's a good movie.
I think I was trying to look that up, and I couldn't remember the name of it, but I remember she's the main character. So I looked her up, and then all of that showed up there.
And then the last thing I got is Epic Games might be a little bit in distress because Fortnite is in decline with respect to the money it's raking in.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, they've been showing lower numbers. I think they said this month has been the lowest they've seen since like November 2017. 2017 is when it launched in September 7th, 2017. So for it to go this low, it's the lowest it's ever been since like it basically came out. Still making a lot of money, still making like billions of dollars, but it's one of those things where it used to make 2.4 billion, now it's like 1.7 or some shit like that, or 1.6. So it's on a decline. So maybe they're thinking that Fortnite will continue to decline, and I don't know, maybe they'll choose something else.
Fortnite 2
go to something else. Man, I don't know. Fortnite 2 maybe in the cards, maybe not. Because if this one tanks, I don't think they're gonna remake it. Nobody's gonna play it.
I mean, it's already made so much money now, though, so I don't what would be considered tanking? You know what I mean?
Yeah, making billions of dollars is still not tanking. Yeah. But you're just wondering what's gonna fill that vacuum in the gaming community? Possibly Titanfall 3, maybe. Yeah, probably not. All right, so what was your thing?
Well, it was dealt with the Kenpachis.
Oh no.
With Zaraki going up against the one right before him. And the reason why I didn't realize the fact that this dude, because they went through with all the Kenpachis and all their Bankais on it that they had. He had one that was also banned.
What? Wait, when did they go through all the Kenpachis?
This is recent. Jeremy sent me the link to all
Really?
This. Yeah.
So they all had Bankais?
They were banned.
What do you mean banned?
So, like how Genryusai can't use his.
Can't use Jidaka inside? Okay. So they had them though. But they just couldn't use them.
The one that was right before him, the reason why Kenpachis even able to beat him is because
he couldn't unleash it.
His is weird. He could release it in that fight, but with his, he can only use it like once a month. Because with his, basically, it would engulf everything. Like, think like a bear trap that just comes around the entire world and is going to eat everything.
Damn, son.
And like right before that, he did a mission in Wako Mundo, and he had used his Bankai. So basically, he was like severely limited.
Damn.
So
that's crazy.
I wonder if he still would have won.
Word. So this is another one of those weird situations where it's like we're kind of both right then, because they all did have Bankais, but like they couldn't really use them. So it's like
Yoruichi does have Zanpakuto. All of them, everyone in the stealth division had them. Yoruichi just doesn't.
I don't see why you would not have one if it's like this thing makes you instantly stronger because it's just a fucking sword that like your body.
She just refuses to use hers.
Yeah,
her brother.
Hers is like in a fucking. It's like sealed somewhere in their mansion or some shit.
But I didn't realize the fact that she was related to the chick in the Zero Division, who was the original head of the Stealth Force.
That makes sense because I think that's been handed down in her family.
Yeah, because she's a Shahoan. And I was like, what?
Is she black?
No.
I wonder where that.
Oh well, I haven't seen. I haven't seen her in color.
I wonder where. I mean, you just think of fucking.
So,
he uses all of his ink on Yoruichi and her brother, so I'm pretty sure you would be able to tell.
Is what's the name black? The dude who makes the swords?
It's a good question. I think he's more one his complexion.
Because I've seen scans of him, and he's definitely darker than everybody else.
I don't think he's darker than Yoruichi.
I mean, not darker than her, but like everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else he's definitely darker than. Fucking weird. Now you got me wondering about this chick. What would she look like? Oetsu Nimaya is the one who's the god of the sword. You said Great Weave Guard? Most people call
she's black.
I'm like, she better not. Because the Hot Spring Demon is that one guy with the fucking pompadour.
Yeah.
The Ruler of the Great is
black,
isn't
he?
Fat chick. Well, he's not black. The Hot Spring dude?
No. So someone is black and
Hot Spring dude's white. He is classic Yakuza. He's thin faced. Kind of looks like Ryu from Shaman King.
Isn't the dude in the room with the shadows or something like that the black guy? Could be misremembering something though.
One of them is black. I fully remember one of them, unless someone colored someone in.
Colored someone in. That's fucked up.
So I mean, you saw what they did with Garp.
What happened with that? Yeah, what's up with so this chick, I don't fucking know who she is, but she's the only other one, so she must be the one that's related to Yoruichi. Yo, she got fucked up. Shot in the head? God damn.
Shot through the
head. Okay. Yeah, no, she's not black either. There's only 5 of them in the Zero Division. Or like 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's only 5. It's a Hot Spring dude. There's the fat chick. There's God of the Sword. So the dude who made the Zanpakuto. There's the weave chick. And then there's Ichibei.
Who apparently is me. I don't understand how though.
He's what?
Apparently that's me.
Yeah, why not?
I'll definitely like to have the monk beats though. That would be cool.
Those are dope. Like the big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Those what was Goken from Street Fighter? Doesn't he have the big ones? Akuma's brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean Kuma also.
Yeah, Kuma also. Yeah.
Fucking.
But the other thing that I was gonna say is like we should probably have a moment of silence for Hashimoto, who is the Konami
code creator.
You know, if you guys don't know who that is, I feel sorry for you. But may he rest in peace. And then also with the guy who created Legos, who also recently.
You said the guy who created Legos?
I believe he was the one who created Legos, right? No, or
This guy who created Legos, I think it depends what you mean by
Lego figurines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nygaard, Knudsen.
Like German name.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys watched there's like a Lego competitive building TV show on?
I haven't checked it out.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
I've seen it on Hulu, though.
Every once in a while when I'm leaving work, it'll just be on the TV. But it's like you know how they have those shows where the people like, oh, who can make the best dessert? It's like that, but with Legos, and they're given like a theme and something. They just have to build it out of Legos.
That shit is crazy.
But on another note,
moment of silence, real quick though. Alright, that's probably good enough. What the fuck?
What are you doing? I don't wait. What am I looking at?
I'm pretty sure that's her chin.
Are you talking about her? I'm over here looking at the Royal Guard thing. So what am I looking
chick
at?
Has a huge chin.
But
everyone's fighting on this too, though.
Speaking of anime characters that Joe could be, I watched this anime called Kemono Michi Rise Up. It's the dude who loves animals. He's a wrestler. He has a pet dog. His wrestling name is Animal Mask. And every time I watch him do stuff, I'm like, that's Joe. Because he's basically your build. He's a wrestler, and he just loves animals. And his whole thing is like, I'm going to become a professional wrestler, and then I'm going to win this title. And then I'm going to like do my dream, which is to open up a pet store.
Animal sanctuary? Oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck would you sell them then?
I don't understand. Wait, Justin, wait, it gets better.
I would probably open up a sanctuary.
Wait, it gets better, Justin, because it's isekai. He gets sent to another world to kill demon beasts, and he freaks out because they want him to kill demon beasts. So he suplexes the princess who summoned him, and he basically runs away. And he's basically accepting a quest from the guild, but instead of killing the monsters, he's basically taming them. So he has like a house just full of like basilisks and chimeras and stuff.
How did he suplex the princess? How the fuck does that happen?
Because basically he just walked up behind her. She was like, "What are you doing? No, we can't do this yet. Wait until we're alone." Then he just suplexes her. And the guards were just like,
so that wasn't an accident then?
Yeah, he suplexed her on purpose.
Fucking okay. That's the first time she's ever gotten like that.
But it was hilarious.
So, it's just not like the wrestler who slapped the shit out of that one Asian chick. And she liked it.
Well, you know what's kind of funny though?
You saw that where he was like, "Bow!" And he was like,
after he suplexed her, she was wearing a dress, so her dress went up. So now everyone calls her Princess Butt Cheeks. And it's subbed and dubbed, and the dub isn't terrible.
Oh, that's usually good.
Yeah, so I've been watching that the last couple hours. I enjoy it, and it's basically like if you watch it, like that's Joe, because he straight up be drop kicking people and everything, and it's great.
When have I ever drop kicked somebody?
Does he throw somebody through a window?
He jumped through a window.
It's close enough.
When have I ever done that?
He jumped through a window with the dog, so technically he did go with the dog out the window.
You jump through the window of my expectations every day.
For how sad of a human being that I am? Yeah.
No, for how many red flags you can rack up in 1 minute. No.
It's actually funny because
where am I at now?
There's an animal girl that's like his companion.
It depends. What time are we at?
There's an animal girl that's his companion. And there's a situation where she thought he was peeping on her, and he wasn't. He was looking at the unicorn that was behind her, and it made her angry that he was more interested in the unicorn than her. It's like, it's hilarious.
It's a unicorn.
Looking at you.
Like I wouldn't give a fuck if Serena Williams was naked.
No, you fucking would. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
If there was a unicorn,
like a real unicorn,
behind Serena, and she's like, I probably would be like, listen, pause. Look.
It's actually pretty good.
All you need to do is look here, Joe.
I would be, Serena, I love you, but if a unicorn was there and I had a chance
the fuck are you talking about? There's no such thing. You know what? I'm putting my blouse back on.
I would be like, I'm taking this chance, and I will try and go and touch the unicorn because it's a unicorn.
And then because of the way that you went against her, such a pure and open thing of like display of love, the unicorn shits on you too. It's like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? She had her bare tits out, just pointing at you.
I mean, if it's Joe's luck, then you're going to be BoJack Horseman.
So much more.
Oh, nigga, hush.
I was like, no, not this way. There's a better way.
There is no better way than outside of marriage. And
actually, Joe,
away.
There is, because I would marry that woman.
You can't marry her.
On
she
the
knows
back
how
of a
doing.
unicorn.
She doesn't know how you're doing.
Joe, he traumatized the Wolfman. There was a Wolfman, and he was like, "You're so fluffy." So he tackled him, and he was like rubbing on him, and he basically like made him like the Wolfman, traumatized the Wolfman. It was hilarious.
That's fucked up.
People keep telling me to watch BoJack Horseman, and then I will.
I haven't watched it. I've
watched it, and then I forgot all of it.
It's like
I've heard mixed stuff about it.
Yeah, it's just.
It's really cringy.
Mm-hmm.
If you like any of that kind of cringy, it's fucking weird, but at the same time kind of funny, then it's for you. I
like Big Mouth.
Watched a lot of it.
It's on that tightrope, but it's supposed to be the way because it's dealing with puberty, and they're very much in your face about it. So I respect that for the fact they're really hitting the harder topics on this stuff, and they're putting it in such a way. But BoJack Horseman, the whole thing with lobotomizing the mother, was it the mother or his wife?
I haven't watched any of it. I just know people who watch it.
It's just like, this is just out there for the sake of being out there. And
pretty much.
This isn't no.
It's also one of those weird worlds where it's almost like Ugly Americans, where you have regular people and then you have dog and cat people.
Suck my balls. Yo, that fucking Ugly Americans is hilarious as fuck, man.
Good times.
Magic. But yeah.
Treegasm. Treegasm. Oh, wait.
Yeah, Ugly Americans, drawn together, weird shows.
I need to move this chick off my fucking. I just keep getting drawn in by the chin. She just got one.
I think
chin.
On that note, we should leave with Justice saying something fucked up, like he normally does.
Like I normally do.
Yes.
I'm not a terrible person, yo.
You're homophobic, so I mean.
How am I homophobic?
Because you're scared of me.
I'm not scared of you.
You're so scared of me that
I'm
not
the only
human
friend
to
you have
you.
that's not scared of you. What the fuck are you talking about?
You always call me not human.
Because you're something better than humans.
So you're still saying that I'm not human. You're saying that I don't have any rights.
I don't know about that. And if you don't have any rights, it's not because you're gay. Because you can't be quantified by man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Tell you, just gotta get him.
I'm just
Drag
a
his
big old
orca.
Y'all need to hold a cabal or some kind of weird fucking get together, where you come up with a new name for homophobes, because not all of them are afraid. Some of them are.
Well, they're trying to get gaycist to be the way, but it feels
weird to say gay like that.
Yeah, and you're making it sound like you're saying racist and all that stuff.
It's stupid because you're not. That doesn't even work phonetically. It's just weird. I know y'all know how to spell. Stop it. All right. Peace out, people.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Don't be gay, sis.
Love you all.
Yeah, you would say that.